London's LBC 97.3.
Hello.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Everything is going extremely well.
What famous fat yellow man couldn't write very well or was too stupid to write? Answer: Nostradamus. So the building industry... First of all, I'm not Clive. I am not Clive. There's no way of getting around it. I am not him. Sorry about that. Nothing I can do about it. He's still ill. We got a postcard from the Bahamas, and he said, yeah, not coming in, still ill. The building industry has admitted that it's riddled with corruption, and everyone said,
Yeah.
we know that. Scientologists opened their London HQ with a starry ensemble flying over. One of the most famous adherents lost his CD collection on the way over and said,
Where the hell are my Judy Garland records, damn it?
the good name of football was dragged through the mud by Jermaine Defoe, who chose a West Ham player as the snack he could eat between meals without ruining his appetite. And Hackney beat all comers to the title of worst places to live in the whole of the United Kingdom.
What?
And Hackney said, oh, no, we're not. And everyone else said, oh, yes, you are. They're going to put up the Olympic Village with thousands of executive flatlets with tiny windows and no cupboards. Doesn't that sound good?
No.
No. It'll be like that bloke in Reverse. What's the name of that guy who did the baseball movie? And then he was a postman, and then he did the wet thing that didn't really amount to much, and almost drowned his whole career. What's the name of that bloke? No one has any idea. But that bloke, he said, I'll build it and they will come, and it'll be completely that in reverse. They will build it. This giant thing that they're going to put up, they can put parks and put 1 million trees up there, and no one will want to go because it's in Hackney, and there's nothing that Hackney can do to change that in any way. And the mayor of Hackney, or the chief burgermeister, or something of that order, he was mortified. Well, he would be, wouldn't he? Poor bloke's got nothing else to do but sit there and take it. Hackney. And the list is awful. I mean, Hull, which was has been roundly put upon from every angle lately. They're the stupidest, they're the fattest, it's the worst place to live, or it used to be, and now it's completely dropped out of the top 10 worst places to live in the UK. Here's the story. Hackney has accused TV producers of middle-class snobbery as it hit back at a survey branding it the worst place to live in the UK. Can that actually be true? I mean, have they been to, for instance, I don't know, let's pluck something out of the air, Swansea, how about that? Or Hull. Hull is awful. It's properly awful. Like I've said before on this show, you go all the way through Hull, and the one attraction that they've got, the one thing that they are trying to pull in people from the outside to go to Hull, is this aquarium, which is not an aquarium. They've, I don't want to go through this story again, but they call it something really bizarre, and I thought, what are you saying? You're not saying aquarium, it's something like an aquarium. You want to Google that, Gary? Why don't you two introduce yourselves and tell us what you've had for dinner?
I've just had a pasta thing from Boots, and I'm Gary, and I'm going to be answering your calls.
A pasta thing from Boots?
From Boots, it was like a vegetable and cold thing.
That sounds horrible.
It was a bit, actually.
You went to the chemist to get your dinner?
Well, they do the meal deal thing.
What?
That you can get, if you get a sandwich or one of the prepared pasta dishes, it's, you can get a drink and something else really, really cheaply.
What, and a check-up with the GP?
And a check-up with the GP as well. And I could also get the morning after pill, I think, with it as well, if I needed it.
If you need it, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't today.
Wow.
What was that?
That's an all-in-one package.
Yeah, I'll say. Huge.
Wow.
Of all the places to go and buy your chill cook... Is it chill cook or cook chill? No offence to the people at Boots, but a chemist would be, like, way down on the list.
Well, I did have to go through Paddington, so it was that or Marks and Spencer's, basically.
And you chose Boots?
There wasn't anything left in the Marks that appealed.
Come off it. Properly weird, that is. So for your food items, You're weighing up M&S and Boots. Not that we want to mention, a lot of brand names and say which might be better, but I think it's, everyone can... Those adverts that they have on the TV... Do they advertising with those M&S, by the way?
Sometimes.
Do they? Everyone should buy everything that they eat from...
And I'm sure Boots might do.
Like Moose, and
might do M&S. You don't want to get that the wrong way around, do you, really? Oh, could be all kinds of trouble.
But those adverts that they have on the TV, it's not just food. It's M&S. And it's like, oh, please. It's just... calm down, dear. It's just dinner. Awful. Almost makes you want to run screaming from the shop. So you had a cook-chill meal. Are you aware that of all of the cook-chill meals in this country, in Europe, right, imagining a great pile of the chill-cook meals in the whole of Europe...
Are these in their packaging or just on the floor?
In this country, we eat half of them for the whole of Europe. Isn't that shocking? There's 60 million people in this country, a similar amount in France and Germany and Spain and... Can't name any other European. See,
Are you like the kids in this poll?
Yes, I went through the English, well, it was British actually. I'm British and proud of it. The British education system, I don't even know where we are on the map. So they couldn't even, the kids who lived in London didn't know that London was the capital of the country. Isn't that stunning? These are 14-year-olds.
Although, were they going to make that bad joke about what's the capital of England? E. Have you ever heard that one?
No.
No.
And I never want to hear it again.
Good job.
Plus, of course, they've probably all got sat-nav now anyway. Probably all trendy, just got it on their phones.
Who are
needs
you?
To know? I'm Elliot, hello.
Elliot.
Second time of meeting.
And... No, I have to... I'm not saying who are you. You have to introduce yourself to the nice listeners, so they've got no idea.
Yes, I'm Elliot.
Yes,
they'll be familiar with me.
Dinner?
Dinner? Not as such, no. I've been wrestling with the joys of the underground to actually try and get here. And every time I get here, I actually try and find a quicker route, because I'm convinced that there's a quicker route than the one that I'm doing, but I've yet to discover it. So, again, I was no quicker getting here today.
Did you touch anything on the tube when you came here?
Only my Oyster card on the reader, and that was it.
I can't believe that thing actually works. It's a computer system that was set up by the government, and it actually works. And it seems to work really well. I topped up my Oyster card on the net, and it appeared.
And it comes if you go in the next day, doesn't it, when you touch on the
I'm
reader?
Stunned by that, aren't you? I mean, every time you go through, I think, and you touch the thing on having put 20 quid on on your little card, and you think, there's no way that this is going to... I mean, there must be some sort of fault somewhere. They're going to be ripping me off. I'm going to have to keep my eye on every transaction. But it seems to be working.
The real dilemma is, of course, if the barrier is open, do you just walk through?
No, you don't. And I'll tell you why. Because a little while ago, I was hauled off the tube like a criminal, like a common criminal, mind, and was given an official warning. Because I hadn't, apparently, according to their equipment, touched either in or out. They couldn't tell, which made me very suspicious of the entire procedure. If they can't tell whether it was in or out, then how can I take their word for it? But they wrote that I had been warned on my Oyster card in indelible ink. Can you believe
Have you
it?
ever been on a train where they've checked
You don't
those?
seem remotely interested in my problems here.
isn't really, is it?
No, but have you ever been on a train where they've checked those things? Because obviously you can just show one and you would never know, but it's actually
No, they've got readers.
Yeah, it's quite a clever, very clever system. It's actually cleverer than the reader system itself. They can tell how much you've got on there, where you got on, where you got off, last time you used it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. These two gigantic people who looked like they could have done with the exercise and skipped the tube, got on and took my card from me, read it on their little machine, and then wouldn't give it back. They said, "You're coming off now," and ordered me off the tube in front of an entire carriage full of people. I was stunned.
It's a bit harsh.
Yeah, very much so. And they said, "We're giving you a warning." And I said, "Well, I don't accept your warning." But it meant nothing to them, and they wrote on my card. So now my card has been, besmirched by their pen. Outraged. And you couldn't care less.
I had one break the other day. It literally, I went to go and try and put it on the thing to go out at Hammersmith, and it just wouldn't accept it. And so I went to the ticket office and said, it's not doing it. And they said, "Okay, here's a new one. How much did you have on it?" And I wrote that down, and they gave me a new one. Straight away. And I should have said I had 20 quid on it. I said I only had about a couple of quid on it, but...
And you were honest.
I was honest, yeah. And I should have... But maybe they can tell.
They'll probably check it later and just deduct it straight back off of you. It wouldn't surprise me.
You're the only honest man in London. So did you get all the way through the tube without touching anything? Because they're going to be spraying the tube, or at least that's what they're thinking about doing. Did you read about that?
No, tell me more.
He wasn't listening to the nightly news tonight, was he? Neither were you.
Well, I was on the tube.
We haven't got through Hackney yet.
I was living it.
Remind me to do the tube thing, and we'll do Hackney, and we'll go away and come back, and the number 0870 90 90 973. Everything is not
Is this
going
thing on?
extremely well, yes, exactly. I have no control over my microphone. I could sit here all night long. Unless you put it on, I can't speak to the nice ladies and gentlemen. That travel screw-up was my fault. I put my hand in the air, it was completely my fault. And you know why? It's because on Saturday night, we go to the break at 15:15. It's just a break. I'm not used to doing travel, see? It's because on Saturday night, it's, tucked away, out of sight, when no one's listening. But now the full spotlight of midweek has been swiveled upon me, and there's all sorts of extra things to go. So it's travel at 2:15. Yeah. Actually, it's not my fault. You're the producer. It's your fault. You must take responsibility.
I take full responsibility for writing up on the screen, and I was just about to say, can you go to the travel now?
Chris!
Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, yes, I'd like to talk about Halloween.
Halloween?
Halloween, yes.
Go on, then.
Well, you know how cigarettes have a warning on them, on the packet? Well, I think Halloween should have a warning on it.
What, may cause death?
Well, it's not a very good thing to be so-called celebrating. It should be avoided at all costs.
Oh, it's just a bit of fun, dear.
Well, no, it's not really.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is just a little bit of fun, yeah.
No, not really, because of the connotations associated with it. I mean, it's not fun. It's about witchcraft, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's about kids going around and, there's the Americanization of Halloween. They all dress up, not very well, by the way, and then go around and get sweets. And people go to fancy dress parties and everyone just gets drunk. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, well, I mean, the connotations still are to do with witchcraft.
Well, the connotations of Christmas are to do with religion, but it's got precious little to do with it these days, has it?
No, actually, the connotations of Christmas don't have anything to do with religion. That's a pagan day, because Jesus was born in October because it was much too cold for the sheep to be out on December 26th.
It's called Christ Mass.
Well, it might be called that, but it's got nothing to do with
I remember you, Chris. You're the woman who likes to call up for a fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not fighting. I mean, aren't you supposed to be a presenter, who's been...
See, exactly, that's exactly what you did last time, and as soon as I rumble you, then you start fighting me.
Can you give me an argument which says that Halloween is in any way, shape or form good? You can't.
Yes, I can, because it's just a bit of fun,
But
Chris.
it's not a bit of fun, because witchcraft, that's, 31st of October is the main day.
Right, listen, there's no such thing as witches, and there's no such thing as witchcraft. There's no such thing as ghosts or ghoulies or any of the other things that go with it. It's just a bit of fun, dear.
There are witches. There used to be a witch who lived at the end
Yeah,
of
but people were accused of being witches, but they weren't actually witches, Chris.
How naive can you be? Of course there are witches in this country. This country has got a big, deep history of witches, unfortunately.
No, it's got a big, deep history of people being accused of being witches, not actually being witches. Big difference.
There are actual witches, unfortunately, in this country, and October 31st
No,
is the main day.
There aren't any. You're wrong. No, you couldn't be more wrong.
Well,
You're being silly. You are just picking a fight.
A fight? Not at all. There's the chief witch of England, there's witches, and there's witchcraft.
The
and
chief
even,
witch of England, right.
Yes, and there's witchcraft practiced, and things like Harry Potter, that's to do with witchcraft.
Harry Potter?
Of course.
Oh, now you're just being silly. You're losing it, Chris.
Oh, you see, when somebody has a weak argument, instead of giving that argument...
No, you don't have any kind of argument at all. You just have this big pent-up well of anger, and what you like to do, because if you... And stop saying, excuse me. And if you maybe had an argument with somebody in the street, Well, these days you'd probably get stabbed, wouldn't you? So, from the comfort of your own lounge, you sit there and you call up LBC and you pick a fight with whoever happens to be on. And it's a good long while since we've had a fight, but I do enjoy it when you call.
You can't fight. You can't give a good argument.
Grace, you've had no kind of argument. You're talking about witches, you silly woman.
Listen, witches are real. Witches exist.
No, they're not.
And it's
no, they
dangerous.
don't.
And it's
Only in your mind and in that woman Rowling's mind. J.K.
Listen, there are many witches, and the source of witchcraft is the devil.
Yeah,
and so
there's no
that's
such thing as the devil either.
What?
You know, I hate to break the news to you, but witches and ghoulies and ghosts and all that
Well,
stuff.
the devil
it's
would
just,
love you to think that he doesn't exist.
well, maybe he should call in and I'll have a fight with him.
Well, I mean, perhaps you should go to a charm school and learn how to...
A charm school?
A charm
There's no
school.
such thing as charms or runes
No,
or...
I'm not
none
talking
of
about
that stuff
charms
really
or
works,
runes.
Chris.
I'm
going to
talking-
send you...
I'm talking about
I'm going to
how
send
that-
you some decaffeinated coffee in the post. Okay, she is, like, wound up like an alarm clock. She's very enjoyable, though. Every now and again she does ring in, and you can tell right from the moment she starts that she's just... I don't know, furious about something. What are you actually angry about, Chris?
I'm not angry with anything.
I like you. You're funny.
To everybody who phones in.
I kind of like you, you know? You just want
I'm
to...
not asking you to like me, but...
well, I know you're not asking me to like you, but I do. Would you accept that I like you?
Well, I mean...
Oh,
that's
go
up to-
on.
That's up to you. But all
Please.
I'm saying that...
Will you be my friend?
Well, if you're that desperate, yes.
Oh, great. Okay, I've made a friend. And you can't ask for better than that. Here's one in Gillingham. Why has it gone all pink? I will really have to get my head around this technology. Why has it gone
It's on
pink?
conference.
Conference?
That
Well, I
means
don't
you've
want a
got 2 on
conference.
1.
No, I don't want a conference. I don't work for IBM. I don't want a conference. Just get me Steve in Gillingham. Can you do that for me?
I'll sort that for you. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, okay. You take as long as you need. Live show. I'll just sit here and whistle, shall I?
Put Steve through now.
Oh, I'll do that then. I'm not doing anything else.
Well, you
It's
like putting them through
It's
yourself.
like DIY, this show. Hello, Steve.
Hello, this is the devil speaking.
Nice to meet you. Where have you been?
Where have I been? Laughing certain parts of my anatomy off at your last caller.
She is great. I like her.
I would like to disagree with you, if I may.
Oh, no, not another one.
No, there are, just like people, good and bad people, there are witches in this world.
No, they might like to
I
think
have
that. Well, it depends what you mean by witches. Do you mean someone who wears who
No,
casts
no,
spells
witches-
and wears a big hat?
No, that's fantasy land.
Yeah.
Witches are people that primarily take power from Mother Earth. It goes back to the old pagan days, to which Christianity actually stole the religion from. As many of their...
Now, hang on a minute. What do you mean by they take power from Mother Earth? Because that just sounds like...
the
just
religion
sounds like
actually believes
drifting
that
into silliness.
power is taken from nature. And nature is the true power.
Right, I've got no idea what that means. So, in other words, people just think they're witches, but, you know, people's idea of what a witch is someone with pointy turn-up shoes, they've got a black cat, and they zoom around on a broom. There are no such people.
Not such people like that, no. But there are people that take very seriously the power from Mother Earth and spells, potions.
Well, they can take it as seriously as they like, but there ain't no such thing.
I'm actually married to one.
Well, that's not very nice, Steve. How does she think about that?
Fantastic.
Huh. And so she cast a spell on you, eh?
Yes, without any potions.
All right, your wife takes power from the earth in what manner?
Well, not actually takes it from the earth. They use the power from the earth. The religion is that Mother Nature is, as people perceive, God. And everything happens because Mother Nature makes it happen.
Right, or it could just be chance. It could just be luck.
Oh, everything could be charm.
Right. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Can I be your friend?
Yes, you can be my friend.
I'm making so many friends. You know, if Clive goes sick all this week, my next birthday party, I'm going to have to hire out the Albert Hall.
There you go. You've got a lot of friends then.
So what does your wife look like then, Steve?
She has no warts. She does not wear a pointy hat. She's very slender, very beautiful, and I'm proud to have her as my wife.
Has she got a cat?
No, we don't have any cat.
Right. And she doesn't use her powers for ill?
No. The whole belief is what goes around comes around, and the power of 3. So if you do something bad to someone, you will get it back 3 times worse. If you do something good to someone, it will come back to you 3 times better.
Wow, that must be like winning the lottery every time you give a tramp a penny.
Absolutely.
Give a tramp a pound. You could give a tramp £1,000, and by this time next week, you could be millionaires.
Exactly. Nice to have £1,000 to give away, though.
Yeah, wouldn't it? All right, thanks a lot, Steve.
Thank you.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Is this show making any sense so far?
I've got your number.
I think we're getting there, but it's a long process. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, there's this board is absolutely stuffed full of people, but none of them are green, and I can only talk to the ones that are green. What's going on here? Jan.
Hello.
Hello, Jan.
I've never called in before, so I'm a virgin at this.
Excellent. Without mentioning any other radio stations, Virgin, you say?
No, I don't mean it. I don't like that one. Yeah, station. I just got in the car and I was on my way to a supermarket and I heard that...
Which Tesco's, was it? Sainsbury's? Waitrose?
Asda's in Watford.
Asda, right. That would have been the last one I would have gone for, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right here. But that woman, Chris was her name, was it?
Yeah.
I just wondered the next time she rang in, couldn't you just dial my number so that I could have a one-to-one argument with her?
A one-to-one, yeah. I'll try and organise. She's probably very expensive. I mean, that amount of energy and pent-up aggression will probably be, very. We could hook her up to the mains. She could run London just on her, on the blood that's boiling within her.
Yeah, we could get a celebrity to turn the switch on. In fact, I'll come down and do it free of charge.
I think she turns herself on. She doesn't need anybody else to start her motor. It's like self-starting. She's probably running all the time. But I like her. I'm not doing her down. I've spoken to her before, and she cheers me right up. She cheers me up because she thinks that she's going to upset and depress me. That's why she calls in to pick a fight. But I just think it's amusing, which makes her even madder. Did you notice?
Well, yeah, no, I noticed the progressive aggression.
Yeah.
And I just thought...
Because she starts off thinking that she's going to get a fight, but when I don't give her one, when I take it in an amused way, then she ramps up the aggression, because what she was going for, she didn't initially get. And so she goes into hyper mode.
Well, I just thought it was great when she, I mean, I don't know if you were aware, you probably didn't hear her, but when you said about the devil...
Yeah.
She said the excuse me phrase in such a high key that it almost pierced my eardrum.
Only cats could hear her, yeah.
Well, yeah, I've got 3 cats. And,
so what are you going to get at the supermarket then, Jan? Don't do what I do, and you go and spend £130 on food, and then the very next day you look in the fridge and there's nothing to eat.
Oh, you are a man after my own heart.
How does that happen?
I do that all the time. I mean, actually, inside the door here now, there's all these, Chris will be really pleased to know that there's all children's Halloween costumes.
You're inviting the devil into your home there, Jan?
Yeah. No, well, he can come in, he's all right. He's fine. Anything different is okay these days.
Right.
Anything with a different opinion.
Yeah, we must celebrate our differences.
Well, yeah, of course, of course. We must celebrate. And,
but how does that happen, though, Jan? You go to the supermarket and you've got a trolley groaning full of food and you pack it all away and then you turn around and literally the next second there's nothing to eat.
Well, actually, I go one better because I go to the supermarket. There's myself and my partner and my 2 sons at home, and I go and I do spend about I'll probably go in here now, spend £130, and then I'll get home and we'll order a takeaway. and
Isn't that awful? Like, what's going on there? We got to make a list, Jan. You've got to make a list.
I can't make a list. That's really sad.
And the most important thing is don't shop hungry.
No, I eat as I go around.
Oh, that's not right. I think there's a big.
But I do keep the wrappers.
Not even in Asda are you allowed to eat when you go around. I'm sure there's a law.
No, I'm sure there is a law, but as long as I keep the wrapper and pay for it at the end, then I don't feel guilty at all, I have to say. But usually it's only a packet of Spam or something. It's nothing elaborate.
Can I stop you there, Jan? Spam?
Yeah.
Spam?
Sorry, luncheon meat.
Spam? You deliberately picked up Spam off the shelf and put it in your basket?
No, I open it and I eat it.
While you're in the supermarket, yeah, good choice.
Well, you know...
Take your own spoon, yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Jan. Now you've really made me feel sick. Spam. Spam, 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 and spam.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
No idea so far, so I still haven't done this Hackney story. I've been on the air 30 minutes and I haven't read the first thing that I came in with. And I noticed that no one from Hackney has called up to complain about this. Hackney has accused television producers of middle-class snobbery. What? People who produce television programmes, middle class? That seems hard to believe, doesn't it? And has hit back at a survey branding it the worst place to live in the UK. The London Borough came bottom in a Channel 4 survey of the UK's 434 local areas, council areas. But the area's directly elected mayor, Jules, said that it was rubbish, basically. Past shows had said Hackney was a great place to invest in property, he said. The borough replaced Hull, which was ranked the worst place to live in last year's survey, and doesn't even show up in this year's survey. I mean, Hull can't have improved that much. It does make you rather suspicious about this whole survey. The results come in a Channel 4 show, The Best and Worst Places to Live in the UK, 2006. Has this been on the air yet?
Haven't seen it.
That doesn't actually mean that it has or hasn't, really. It just means that we don't really bother much about Channel 4. What do we watch on Channel 4 these days? Is there anything? That's a no. That's a nothing, isn't it? Come on, must be
they
something.
commissioned a new series of Shameless, so that'd be good. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
They're going to extend it so it's same sort of length of runs as American.
26 episodes, 24, 26?
I think something like that, yeah. And so they, instead of hiring a building to use to be their home, they're building their own one, so it's going to be the first kind of thing like that, as opposed to a soap.
But it's going to be, it'll almost be, well, it will be like a soap, won't it? Except it'll only run for half the year. They're going to have to hire in some writers, because that's the thing with American TV programmes. When, you know, an American comedy show or any kind of programme lasts for 24 episodes in the States, which fits with the programme 24. That's probably why they came up with it. They said, well, we've got to come up with 24 episodes. What's 24? Oh, yeah. That's,
that works, yeah.
But what they do in America is they have teams of writers, and then they squeeze out all the funny or all the drama out of every writer, and then they toss them away after 6 months or whatever. But in this country, traditionally, it's one bloke with a typewriter in a bedsit, isn't it? Which is why you can only come out with 6 or 12 at the very most. You know, Fawlty Towers.
And they don't even run for many
Office.
series, a lot of these things, do they?
No, that's because a writer has only got so much in him, and once it's out, then you know, it all kinds of dries up. Anyway, back to Hackney. There's the worst phrase in the language, isn't it? Back to Hackney. There's a phrase you don't want to say to the taxi driver. London boroughs dominated the worst list, with 4 of them, Tower Hamlets, Newham and Islington, in the bottom 5, joined by Merthyr Tydfil in South Wales. Mr. Pipe, that's this bloke's name, Jules Pipe, said, this kind of programme panders to the worst sort of Middle England snobbery. Of course Hackney has problems, really, as do all inner-city boroughs, but it's an amazing place to live. Is it? It's diverse and exciting with fantastic architecture. Really? A vibrant arts and cultural scene. What? And a bright future as an Olympic borough. Well, it does have that, yeah. Neil Leahy of North and East London estate agents Keaton's said Hackney's property market was booming. It's the only London borough that hasn't seen a price drop in the last 4 years. Well, presumably because stuff's so cheap there that it couldn't go down anymore. I mean, it's got to be the cheapest place to live in London, right? Everyone that can't afford to live anywhere else is going to Hackney by default. It's the only place they can afford without moving out to, you know, Slough, which is not on this list. I can't believe that. It's got a great atmosphere, a bohemian feel, fantastic markets and nightlife, they say. Schools are improving. Well, there's a telling phrase, improving. And all in all, it's a great place to live. But Channel 4 said the results were based on official data. All the research is rock solid. And we look at every single authority, all 434 of them, and the figures speak for themselves. Oh, well, statistics, you say? You should have said. Here's one in Smithfield. Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Alan.
Nick.
How are you?
Fine, thanks, you?
Not bad.
Good. I used to listen to you years ago when you was on the other station.
You're urgent to tell me which one it was?
The Virgin?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You missed a bit out of Hackney as well.
What's that?
Apparently they've got a heated Lido.
Do they?
Apparently so. There was a councillor on the radio this morning saying they've got a new heated Lido, the only one in London, apparently.
A new one?
Hmm.
Are you sure it's new?
Well, so he said this morning.
Because most Lidos come from, they're Art Deco, aren't they?
Exactly,
The
yeah.
30s.
Yeah.
Who would want to swim outside? Like, there's like one weekend, if you're lucky, one weekend a year where you could actually swim outside.
If you're very lucky.
Yeah, mind you, heated though, that's excellent.
Well, yeah. You might as well have a bath, mightn't you?
It's probably set alight.
You might as well have a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's heated and it's warm inside as well.
That's right. It's the only kind of body of water I want to be immersed in, a bath. Yeah, because you know what happens in swimming pools.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree with you on the Halloween thing, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just a laugh.
Of course.
We had a Halloween party 2 years ago with a family, and we had a brilliant. Everybody dressed up, and we had a great laugh. Everybody got drunk, and absolutely fabulous.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, you can't beat it.
It's not going to call up the devil, it's not going to call up ghosts and ghoulies, and dead people will not rise from the ground.
Exactly.
No. It's just a bit of a laugh. You've got to have a laugh, haven't you?
You've got to have a laugh. I've got a problem anyway.
What's that then?
I want your listeners to see if there's anybody out there that's got a jump start for a broomstick. Because mine won't start this year.
Huh.
And I need to get it sorted before the end of the month.
Well, you're stuck in Smallfield then.
Yeah.
Where's Smallfield? Because I said Smithfield, but
yeah,
it's not
Smallfield.
Smithfield.
Near Gatwick.
Gatwick?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And how's that?
Fairly quiet at the moment.
Is there a Smallfield?
No, it's quite a large field at the back of the garden.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You look out over field. Benefits from a rural aspect is what the state agent would say.
Sort of, yeah. So
Well, it sounds a delight, Alan.
Well, it's not.
Shame about all the planes, eh?
Well, no, because we're sort of very close to the motorway as well, the M23.
Oh, lovely.
So you got the planes, and sometimes you get the noise from the motorway as well.
Well, you're painting a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
I almost would do you a swap.
Would you?
No.
No, I wouldn't either. I'll be quite honest.
Okay, well, listen, thanks a lot, Alan.
Okay, thanks, Nick.
Ta-ta.
Cheers, bye.
It's Mr. Lister. Oh, God, I've done it again. Can you unconference me? Or I'm going to kill myself.
You get the newspapers.
Hey, Philip.
Good evening, Nick.
We're with you now.
How are you?
I'm all right, mate.
Jolly good. You know, after midnight, Nick, you get the newspapers.
Well, I'm hoping it's before midnight, because I like to go through them on the show.
Right. Well, I've got one in front of me from December the 4th, 1967. It's a Sun.
Can I ask why?
I don't know. I found it at the bottom of a box.
Bottom of a box, right.
Yeah,
you were rooting around in your wardrobe.
Well, yeah, you were not in the wardrobe, in a large cupboard.
Oh, I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yes. And it's a copy of the Sun before it became a tabloid.
Really?
Yes. It was a full-size paper.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it was called the Independent Daily Newspaper.
Oh, it wasn't the Sun then?
Yeah, it was left of centre.
So that was what it was called?
Yes.
So it wasn't called the Sun?
No, it was called the Sun.
But you just said it was called the Independent...
That was written underneath.
Oh, right,
you
that
know,
was
like
its tagline.
Yeah, like
Right.
you get...
all the truth, all the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was looking through it.
So what was that date again?
December the 4th,
Yeah.
1967.
Right.
The paper cost fourpence.
And, what a rip-off. And so the front page top headline, what was that?
Railman Ready for a Battle. By Geoffrey Goodman. I think he's still around today, isn't he?
Railmen.
Yes. There was ASLEF were coming out on strike.
Oh, God, weren't they ever?
Yeah.
And they were permanently on strike for about the next 20 years.
And there's a sticker just above it that you can put, it says, free lifts at your own risk.
Free what?
Lifts. So the car drivers had to cut this sticker out.
Lifts?
Lifts.
Oh, lifts.
Lifts.
Say lifts.
Lifts. And you put it in your car, and if you saw a dolly bird walk along the street...
Oh, what now?
Sorry, a lady.
Right.
A lady. You could give her a lift at her own risk.
At her own risk?
Well, it says at your own risk, but I depend on who the lady is, I suppose.
I find this hard to believe. Did it actually say Dollybird or Lady?
No.
You're making it up,
It
mate.
says, no, I'm not. It says keep up with the news in the sun, and it's got free lifts. Stick this in your car windscreen if you want to help. Because of the rail strike.
Oh, I'm with you now. Right.
Yeah.
And what happened to don't get in the cars with strangers?
Well, I suppose if you've got to get to work, you get in the car with anybody.
Right. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
And I went through, had to look at some interesting stories.
Were you driving at the time, Philip?
I have never owned a car, funny enough, Nick.
Excellent.
I owned a moped for 5 years.
Makes me feel much safer.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work, as you know, I mentioned, on the buses, and I didn't really need a car.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I spent, all told, 38 years in one form or another working for London Transport.
What, you were a clippy?
I was a conductor for 15 years, and for 23 years I was for want of a better word, ticket inspector.
You know, I wanted to be a bus conductor. It was one of the first jobs as a child,
Yes.
a tot, that I wanted to be. And do you know why?
Why was that?
Because of the button that you used to press. Ding, ding, it went. And
Yes.
it was a red button about an inch across,
That's
surrounded by a silver circle.
That's right.
Calling Dr. Freud.
Oh, it was. I enjoyed it, as I say. It had some great fun.
Were you ever assaulted?
I was never assaulted as a conductor, Nick, but I was assaulted once as a ticket inspector. This guy, he had an altered ticket, and funny enough, he got off the bus and got back on to have a go at me. So it was.
He went out of his way.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the problem was, Nick, up until, say 20 years ago, the only problem you really had was drunks. Happy drunks, or drunks that were aggressive. After that, when drugs came in, you just did not know. A person could change,
I would be more concerned if I had to meet and greet the public on a general, in a general way. I would be more concerned with alcohol than any other kind of drug.
No, we used to get used to
With the
alcohol.
possible exception of angel dust.
Yeah, we used to get used to alcohol, and it wasn't, This newspaper, Nick, has got at the back. It's got the radio and TV listings.
I want to just flip. How many pages are in this paper?
In the paper there are 12.
And in what kind of condition is it?
It's in very good condition.
It's
Nick.
40 years old.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Isn't that
yeah.
incredible?
Yes, it's
That's
got...
older than most of the people that are listening to this right now.
There's people that are still around today. I think it's the you've heard of the TV critic Nancy Banks-Smith.
Yes.
Was the TV critic.
Maybe this sort of fits in with Halloween. It's like Night of the Living Dead. All these people are still alive. How come, you're thinking? Very suspicious.
I mean, a lot of the TV programmes, a lot of people have moved on.
I'll tell you what, Philip.
Okay.
Hold on right there, because this is a find worthy of the Victoria and Albert Museum.
Okay.
And I'll delve through it with you in a moment. All right. Can you even wait to get to page
Certainly.
3? It's 8:45. Let's have travel with Karen Mercer.
First of all, to the M25.
Dear, you can talk to me.
What's on page 3, Philip?
Right, I'm moving to page 3.
Let's just recap. We've got a newspaper, a copy of The Sun from 40 years ago, which you found rooting around. You were probably throwing out your old porno collection, I bet.
No. It was I found out my copy of the War Cry in the Christian Herald. And,
like I said, yeah.
Yes. Actually, there's on page 3. Oh, here we are. From today, housewives will be able to watch themselves doing the shopping on a closed-circuit television screen installed in a supermarket in Harlow in Essex. How about that?
See, I knew there'd be something saucy. Watch themselves,
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear.
Is there a page 3, girl?
No, there isn't.
Right, of course not.
It wasn't that sort of newspaper.
No.
It was a very readable paper. It was, it was one that you could, pick it up and,
And read it, yeah.
and really,
Get in there.
And what have we got here? Right, it says here there's a church at Haverhill in Sussex will have a section partitioned off by glass for people with colds or coughs.
Isolate the incubators.
Yes. I thought that was this story about London, the trains are going to have, people going around spraying this...
Yeah, excellent idea. I hope that they clean them before they spray them.
That's what I thought.
That'd be a good idea. I got chewing gum on my bottom other day. Can you believe it?
Oh, no.
Some bleep hole had left chewing gum on 2 seats, and I failed to look before I sat.
Oh, dear, think of a word.
I don't get it, because, I can understand if somebody puts a a booby trap down,
Yes.
and stands around to see the fun, rubbing their little hands together.
They're not there, are they?
And sniggering, but they put it down and then they leave.
Yeah, they're long gone.
That's just, I don't get that.
Also, there's a new film from Anthony Newley. Now, the title, you probably know the title I'm going to say.
No.
Can Hieronymus Merkin ever forget Mercy Humphrey and find true happiness? That was a film.
That was the name of a film?
That was the name of the... Yes. Can Hieronymus Merkin ever forget Mercy Humphrey, I think it was Mercy Humphrey, actually, and find true happiness?
Of course, you know what a merkin is, don't you?
I'll be truthful, I don't. Is that a spirit with Halloween?
No.
Oh. It's not something you ought to have up to the watershed, is it?
So tell us what was on TV on... they probably only had 2 channels then, right?
No, they had 3, Nick.
3, you say? Right,
Oh,
OK,
so
what
we
was
got
on at 9 o'clock on BBC One? Can't wait to hear
on
this.
BBC One was Dr. Finley's Kiss Box.
Oh, yeah, I can remember
Aye,
that.
Doctor.
And opposite on ITV?
On BBC Two, do you want that first?
Go on, then.
There was a play, Theatre 625, Lieutenant Tennant.
Do you know why it was called 625? I bet it was because
Oh, yeah, because it was the lines, wasn't it?
625 lines on your telly.
Starring Jimmy Thompson.
1,080 now.
Flipping heck. Jimmy Thompson and Angela Douglas.
What was on ITV?
Right. 9 o'clock. Well, actually, there was a play on there, but the programme that was on at 10:30 was the one that I watched, and I think everybody watched it. The continuing story of Peyton Place.
Oh, you said that very well.
I used to watch that. It was a TV adaptation of the book and the film, and it really sort of grabbed everybody, you know.
I bet it did. Lots of saucy goings-on.
Yes, 7:30 was Coronation Street.
Oh, it's true.
Your favourite programme you might like, 6:39. 6:39?
6:39?
Yes.
Set your watch.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
I remember that,
Yeah, that was sort of like an Irwin Allen series. You know, he had Land of the Giants, didn't he? Lost
Yeah,
in
oh,
Space.
God, that stuff was excellent. But
Yeah.
there surely wasn't in colour TV then, was it?
I think a lot of them were, but the TV wasn't in colour here, but they were made in colour. I think it was 1968 that colour first came. I could be wrong.
You get 10 points if you can rush to the cupboard and come out with the record with the theme tune.
Oh, I've got that, but I've even got the theme from Peyton Place.
Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want the theme from Land of the Giants.
Oh, I've got that, but I can't. It'll take a while to find it and set it up.
Oh, that's all right. It's a live show. You take as much time as you like.
Also, did you know that at that particular time we didn't have cable but certain areas of London had pay TV.
Pay TV?
Yeah, a lot of them had their television was into their houses and flats, and maybe it was mainly council, I think. And they had it came in by cable. It wasn't a cable as we know it, you know, today.
What, did it have extra programmes on
Yes,
it?
extra programming.
Like what?
Well, they only had films. They had...
Did they have that Merkin film? I'd have paid a lot of money to see
Do
that.
you know how much they had to pay to watch the films?
£180.
6 shillings.
It's like I said.
So
in old money, that's 6 shillings.
Peter Sellers in Casino Royale was 6
Oh, that was awful. I wouldn't pay threepence halfpenny to see that.
No, 6 shillings to see Bachelor Girl Apartment. No, I don't know who was in
Yeah,
there.
ditto. Anyway, thanks for the trip down memory lane,
welcome,
Philip.
Nick.
You're always good value for money.
Oh, by the way, can you ask... you know, you got Karen doing the traffic tonight.
Yes.
Did you know she's a very good singer?
I did not.
You want to ask her to sing a song? I'm sure...
I'll ask her to sing the traffic.
Anyway, all the best, Nick.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Here's one in Kensington, and it's a chap called Nasir. Nasir,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm alright. What's your problem with Hackney? Because you seem to badmouth it quite easily without... I don't know if you've been there or...
No, it's part of this survey. Channel 4 have come up with the worst places to live in the whole of the UK. Winner, or loser really, Hackney.
Yeah, but, you know, you should know of all the people, yeah. These surveys, they probably asked 10 people, because they ain't bothered doing the survey properly. 10 people, and probably out of 10 people, probably 2 people said, oh, yeah, it's a bit rough area.
No, I don't think they asked people. They did a survey of crime and the housing stock and, you know, all that sort of thing. Statistics they surveyed, not people.
What's your opinion on it?
Well, I went through Hackney in order to get to Essex a little while ago, and there may well be beautiful stretches of Hackney that you could skip through meadows filled with wild flowers, but I didn't see any. It looked pretty hideous from outside my car window. In fact, I locked the doors.
Right, that's funny, you know. 'cause
Anyway, you're calling from Kensington. What do you know?
Well, I used to live in Hackney.
All right, so great. You moved to Kensington. Yeah.
Reason
I think
why
I think
is
that's a vote of not a vote of confidence, is it?
Well, let me answer the question. First of all, the only reason why I moved is because I inherited a house from my late father. So that was the only reason why. Because of financial things, I prefer to live here. It's more peaceful. I admit
See,
that.
there you go. Right. So you inherited the house. What you could have done was you could have sold the house and invested in Hackney.
Invested in Hackney. Give it another 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I'll tell you something. Probably the houses there, the new apartments will at least cost you 210, at least.
Right.
They're 38
Cheaper
million.
than anywhere else in London for a very good reason. Because no one wants to live there. That's a
no,
yes. That includes you.
No.
See, we need someone to defend Hackney who actually lives there, who actually likes it enough to stay there. Would that be a good idea? 0870 9090 973. This is LBC.
Do you need money today?
Neil, how you doing?
Hi, Nick. Is
Neil.
that Nick?
Yeah, it is.
Hi,
You're going to have to
hi,
turn down your radio, Neil, because we're getting an echo. Or
Are you?
That's
Are
better.
You getting an echo now?
Much better.
All right. Okay, listen, I've spotted a client a few times. The lady called Chris, yeah? She always gets, disrespected when she comes on, yeah?
Well, there's good reason for that.
But she speaks right, yeah? Halloween, yeah? Let me just say one thing, yeah? Right?
Can I ask you, before you say it?
Yeah.
Stop saying yeah.
All right, okay. All right. All right. Look, what I'm trying to say is, this country, yeah, and...
Oh.
This country and, majority worldwide, yeah?
Oh.
It's decline. There's a moral decline, yeah?
Oh.
In teenagers. No, come on, right? In teenagers, yeah?
Oh.
In everything, yeah? You agree to Halloween, right? You agree to Halloween, and it's a subject, yeah?
Right.
But
You can't actually... No, I'll ask you again. I'm not having a go at you, but just try and stop saying yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, yeah?
Yeah.
The world neglects the one message, which is Jesus Christ, yeah? And the Bible speaks, right, of a time when there is going to be a time... You see what's happening in the world, yeah?
Yeah.
There's stabbings every week in this country.
Oh, I know.
Right? There's stabbings, right? There's, the moral decline of this country is
shocking.
Is shocking.
You know whose
right?
fault that is?
Sorry?
You know whose fault that is?
Whose?
I'm blaming the parents.
There is a good and an evil, yeah?
Right. No, there isn't.
Right? There is God and there is the devil. Right? The time's up.
No,
the time is up.
Oh,
all
really?
Right? No, but
in 2 minutes
I'm
it
telling
will
you
be.
that, look, I'm Indian, yeah? I come from India, yeah?
He's Indian, he comes from India.
Yeah, I come from India, right? I've studied every religion there is possible.
Oh,
yeah?
well, you must be an expert then.
Right? And I'm telling you that whatever is prophesied, yeah, in Romans chapter 1, verse 18...
That's my favourite.
Go there, right? If you go there, right, you'll see a mirror of what's happening in the world, yeah, and what is happening now, right?
You should. Someone should give you a loud hailer and install you in Piccadilly Circus. I'd like to see you fight the guy who's installed there right now.
Please, look, I'm not trying to have an argument or anything. Yeah, Katrina happened on a day, 2 days before they were going to have a gay celebration day. Yeah.
Oh, now you're straying into the realms of the silly.
Right.
Are you
No,
saying
come on,
that
there
God
was
was?
1,200
Hang on.
people
Let me just ask you this before I make a decision on where this is going to go. All right? Are you saying? Are you saying? Wait a minute, Neil. Let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Are you saying that God visited a flood on New Orleans because there were a lot of gay people there?
No. I'm not saying that.
I thought that's exactly what you were just saying.
No, I'm not saying there was going to be a celebration day where, believe me...
You're running out of time, so make the point, because
right?
think I
No,
can
but
take
what
it.
I'm just trying to say, this country has lost, is divorced its one and only God. Yeah?
Right, okay. You should take yourself a soapbox and go and stand in Piccadilly Circus, because that's where that sort of stuff deserves to be.
On FM. On DAB. 97.3. 0870 90 90 973.
It's a good idea to get someone else's opinion.
I screwed up both of those, didn't I? Oh, well, never mind. So that guy before, I mean, it's been like Looney Tunes so far, hasn't it? That's been deeply confusing so far. I like the guy who was just on, because he reminded me of the chap that used to bother shoppers from the middle of Oxford Circus. How he wasn't beaten to the ground by the police, why they aren't using the taser on him, is beyond my imaginings. Because he moved, I think the council took out an injunction on him and said, right, you can't bother people from here anymore. And so he said, right now, Governor, and he went to Piccadilly Circus, just down the road. And he's there right now, of a weekend. He might even be there 7 days a week. He sits there with a PA system. Incredible. I mean, how is that legal? How can he... I'm just stunned. And he just says the same thing over and over and over again. Be a sinner, not a winner. Like that, he goes, oh, sure, put a sock in it, mate. It is absolutely painful. And these people are just... You can't talk to them at all, because it doesn't matter what you say, they're not hearing you. Is this thing on, you say? They're not hearing. Oh, anyway, it's... what did that thing... have you still got that up? That Roman, passage that he was talking about. If you haven't, don't worry about it, because it didn't really say anything. It just said, everyone's going to hell, and there's nothing you can do about it. Which one was it? It was Rome. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Well, I don't have no learning, not nor nothing, but to me that's just meaningless, basically, isn't it? It's just saying that we're all screwed. Because this is a pretty ungodly society, let's face it. My problem with people that are like that chap, and who are the people who set themselves up in Piccadilly Circus, because there's him and then there's another one. Like we imported one from Newcastle. He's got a Geordie accent, and they're both... they're not gaining any adherents, they're just annoying people. Religion is fine. You can believe whatever you like, just don't bother the rest of us. If we are interested, we will come and seek you out. Don't try and push it down our throats. That's all. That's not an unreasonable request, is it? That's not me being... that's not a crazy thing to say. Religion's fine. Just be among your own type. Don't come and shout at us. Is that an unreasonable thing to say?
No, perfectly reasonable. And I'm just thinking, if that thing is battery powered, he must get through quite a few a week.
Yeah, how does that work? It's almost like he's got his own generator there. Maybe it's powered by God.
Maybe it's plugged into the mains, what we were talking before.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever ready.
He gets his power from Mother Earth. Here's Barnett. Oscar.
Hi, good evening, sir.
How are you?
Very well, thank you very much. You say something that is very true. The problem with the Christians, I am a Christian, but the problem with the people who believe in Jesus always is pushing and pushing. Is not the way to do things like that. My duty in this world is to telling people that the people don't want to believe in Jesus, they're not going to have the new life. But that's all. We cannot push people. But I tell you something. I'm a journalist from Colombia, South America, and I was like you. I never believed in witches or evil or something like that.
You saying you do believe in them or you don't?
Before, I don't believe in
Before what? Oh no, something's coming.
Before something happened to my family. Before I was like you. When somebody told
Okay,
me,
well go on. Tell us what happened.
So what happened is I have a son, 23 years old, and on February he got a epileptic attack. So the doctor said he got a brain tumor. So he started, the chemotherapy for a couple months.
Yeah.
And still the same until one day we meet somebody in our church. Somebody come from Spain. It's a lady, and she said to me, Oscar, the problem with your son is because he messed with his life before. So she explained to me that my son...
well, you mean he'd made irreligious choices in his life?
Yes.
And so God gave him a tumour?
No, not like that. What happened is he's played with the black magic and black things, and he went to the cemeteries, take things from there, doing very bad things.
Right. I blame the parents, Oscar.
Of course, yeah, it's our fault, but at the end of the day, he take something from there, and that thing is coming into his body.
Well, yeah, you'd like to think that that's the way it works, but I just don't believe it. Bad things don't necessarily happen to bad people. Bad things often happen to very good people. Just pick up the papers. It happens every day.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's true.
All right, but you're going to tell us that she prayed it away or something?
Yeah, what happened is, that night, the lady started prayer on him, and his few things coming on from his mouth. Voices of, evil things.
Right, he was speaking in tongues.
Yes.
Right.
Not only that, it's in English and Spanish, and they said, for example, when the lady is praying on him, they say it's the dead spirit coming out.
Okay, and then he was cured?
Yes, he's cured.
Right, okay. That's either complete coincidence or you just totally made it up.
No, I think it's something coming from God and give it a chance to...
Almost certainly not, because people who are ill pray to God all the time, and people don't miraculously recover from their illnesses. Tumours kill people. So it was just either complete coincidence or he just got lucky.
So...
believe me.
No, yeah, but it's okay. If you have a brain tumor, believe me, the doctors here in Hampstead, they're going to, at the moment, they are searching, because the tumour, it disappeared completely.
Right, well, okay. I'll believe you, Oscar. Millions wouldn't, but I'm glad that he's better now. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers.
God bless you, man.
Ta-da. If prayer did actually work, then no one would have any problems anymore, because all you'd have to do is just pray, and then it would get fixed, right? I mean, I could sit here and pray for, a £2 million contract. And if it worked, then, well, I'd be driving a Ferrari home, as opposed to the clapped-out thing that I've got stuck together by gaffer tape. But it doesn't. It's not going to work. You might wish that it works, and if you're ill, then a positive outlook can certainly help you. But, I mean, if it was divine intervention, then why him? Why not everybody else? Particularly, why him? Because he was a nasty person who was nicking things from graveyards. How could he? Just a thought. Here is a Louise from Barnsley.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, Louise.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Oh, don't everyone's going to go at you.
No, they're not. We're just having a conversation.
I know, but, I mean, whilst you were having that conversation, actually, this is going to sound silly, but I saw something on Futurama that made me think.
Louise.
Yes.
One of the things that... Because you want to get into radio, don't you?
Yes.
One of the things that you're going to have to do is to speak more precisely, more clearly, enunciate more, and slow down a bit, and try and lower your voice, because you're very high. Now, I'm trying to help you here, you understand?
I know.
And if you want to get into radio, people have to understand what you're saying.
Go on, it's your turn to help me.
Right, go on then.
Right, when you were having that other conversation with that guy...
Is this you slowed down?
Yeah. I just get excited sometimes, you know, I have to say my piece.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Go on, take a deep breath now.
Oh, yeah.
Do it. Hold it. You didn't hold it, did you? Right, we'll try it again. Take a deep breath. Hold it. You're not holding it. You've got to work with me, Louise. I'm trying to help you now, okay? Now push your shoulders down. And out. There. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get excited sometimes.
That's all right. Just got to keep... Remember to breathe.
Yeah, I'm usually quite good at slowing down so you can understand what I'm saying.
No, you're not.
I try.
Got to work at it.
Can't feel anything this end.
No, quite. Right, off you go.
Right, that last call that you had on. No, it's going to sound so to you, but I saw something on Futurama.
I'm going to have to translate as we go along because it's not. You're not. Are you getting it through there, Elliot?
I'm just in Dictionary Corner, and just give me time to thumb a few pages.
Yes.
We'll get there before 10 o'clock.
Because this is absolutely vital for your future career, Louise, because you want to get into radio, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen unless you learn to speak so people can understand you. I mean, it might work on a dance station, but if you want to get ahead, then you're going to have to learn.
I've got a cold as well.
You've got to learn your diction. You see, I'm not getting at you. You're getting all defensive now. I'm trying to help. So I'm going to give you a moment, all right, and then you can collect yourself. Maybe you could have a nice cup of tea. It'd be a perfect time for that, wouldn't it? We're going to go and do the travel, and I'm going to come right back with you, all right?
Okay.
And everything will be great.
Yeah.
You happy?
Yeah.
All right, hang on right there. It's 9:15. Travel with Karen.
Well, we're down to just one lane still on the south. Let's get back to it.
Hey, Louise.
Hi there.
How you feeling? Calm?
Yeah.
Collected?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's up?
Right, the last call that you had.
The last call that we had.
Yeah, right. About that, what the guy was saying, right? This girl sounds so to you.
It's such a long time ago, I can't remember what he was talking about. What was he talking about?
Oh, God.
Oh, right, that.
Right. But, I was watching something on Futurama.
Futurama?
Yeah, and it made me think because, it was like this big swirly thing, but it was supposed to represent God. And he said...
It was a big what?
It was like a big swirly thing, but it was supposed to represent God.
A big what?
Whirly thing.
A whirly thing, supposed to represent God.
Like a helicopter.
Futurama, that's the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, he actually said, if you do too much for people, they become dependent on you.
Yeah.
If you don't do anything for them, they
like goldfish.
Yeah, they turn their back on you. So maybe if there is a God, then maybe he does just the right amount of things. That's what I think. Anyway.
Well, that's a well thought out argument, Louise, or something.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to then?
Nothing. I've got a cold. It's my birthday tomorrow.
Baby. Clive's got a cold or the flu or something. What is it? What's the word with Clive? Is he feeling better? Not better? Worse?
I asked the management and they said, well, I don't know.
Oh. Well, we don't.
That was the official line.
The official line is we don't know. He might be dead.
Oh, I'm sure he's not dead.
I'll have to cancel all my future appointments.
I like you better anyway.
Oh, you can't say that, Louise. You can't slag someone off when they're not here. Call in Clive and tell him that.
And you said that to
I have done.
and you said that to Ian Lee a few hours earlier.
What? You said it to Ian Lee and now you're trying to convince me.
No.
I see.
No.
What's going on here, Louise?
Seriously, Nick, you're like my radio idol.
Right.
And, yeah.
Okay, well, lesson 1 in media studies M101 is that people have to understand what you're saying.
And it might just be this cold, I don't know, because I do try with you, because I know how difficult it is sometimes.
Because you see, people in London, mate, they don't have the ear for the Barnsley accent for a start. So you have to help us along. All right.
It's all them scrap yards.
What?
She'll know what that means.
What does that mean?
There's
I don't know
lots
what
of
it means.
scrap yards in Barnsley.
Are there?
Yeah. There's one down the road from me.
It's the scrap capital of Yorkshire, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the industry in Barnsley? Rubbish. Barnsley's not on this list, by the way. This list of the worst places to live in the whole of the UK. It's Hackney, Tower Hamlets, Merthyr Tydfil, Newham, Islington, and out of the top 5, only 1 is outside London. Isn't that shocking? And then Middlesbrough, Nottingham, Strabane, I have no idea where that is, Blaenau, Gwent, also Wales, and Manchester. Well, we got that right. Manchester is awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really rough.
This is someone who comes from Barnsley.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot. Hey, how are the studies going, by the way?
Fine, thanks.
Yeah? What did you learn this week?
How to report crimes properly.
How to report crimes properly?
Yeah, because of the restricting orders that you get.
Oh, right. You can't talk about court cases that are ongoing.
Yeah, but we've got a big book that's like 500 pages.
Oh, yeah. Throw that in the bin.
£20 for it.
Yeah, you want to throw that straight away. Don't worry about that. What, the legal ins and outs of broadcasting?
Yeah.
Nah, don't pay any attention to that. Always ramp up the story. That's the first, the key to being a good journalist. If it's a really boring, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
you got to make stuff up in order to ramp it up to make it more exciting.
Just add some sex in it.
Yeah, some sex and death. It always works.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Louise.
Bye.
Ta-da. This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott in for Clive, and we'll go to London Colney. Mandy.
Hello.
Oh, Mandy.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I feel quite normal. Bloody hell. It's been like the mad half hour.
I know. It makes you feel like it is Halloween.
Oh, I don't like Halloween.
It's not a mad half hour. It's been a mad hour and a half.
Oh, I don't know.
This show's been insane from the very first call.
Oh, really? I turned on when you were talking to the guy who kept saying, yeah. And I wanted to...
Yeah.
through the radio. And then that girl just now, bless her.
He did try, though. He did try to stop saying yeah, but he just couldn't.
He went to basically then.
Well, yeah, and okay.
Oh, God. Right.
But you know what? It's like throwing in a pause. And a pause is just to gather your thoughts.
Yeah.
But rather than pause, probably because, in his life, if he stops speaking, people will walk away or stop listening. And so he has to keep the noise coming out of his mouth, because what he's saying isn't enough to grab people's attention.
Yeah.
So he has to blitz them with sound.
Yeah.
So he fills every gap with a yeah?
That was awful. It was awful. And that girl from Barnsley, I'm sure she's really sweet.
She is, yeah.
Didn't understand.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to help her. She'll get there in the end. She has to... see, now, you have a perfect radio voice, Mandy.
Well, make me into a radio star, darling.
I can't. You haven't been on television.
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes. I have.
See, you're husky and you have a low voice. See, even David Beckham wouldn't get a job on radio before he learned to lower his voice a bit.
Get me a job. I'm not working. I need a job.
You're not working?
No.
Why aren't you working?
I can't find a job.
Oh, come off it.
No.
There's no end of jobs that need filling.
Not round here. I don't want to work in town.
I've asked you this before, but where is London Colney?
It's, kind of the tip of northwest London and south of St Albans.
Oh, it sounds a delight.
Is it near the Hatch?
What did he say?
He said, is it near
the
Hatch? I think that's probably offensive, isn't it?
Okay. I've never heard of that.
No, me either. Let's just move on.
Is it? What's that?
I've got the Hatch. Sounds,
Colney Hatch, isn't it?
Borderline perverse.
Never heard of the Hatch.
No, stop saying Hatch.
Okay.
So,
You think it's rude?
Well, it sounds rude to me.
Probably a dogging place or something.
A dogging place?
Yeah.
So you actually genuinely are searching for work, but you can't find... Oh, I don't believe you, Mandy. You're sitting at home with a bottle of red wine from
I don't drink, Nick.
From the moment you wake up in the morning watching Trisha.
I don't drink. I don't watch Trisha. The only thing I'm utterly addicted to, and I've told you this before.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're going to say something awful now, aren't you?
Yeah. Deal, no deal.
Right.
Mm.
Well, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Thought you were going to say Jeremy Kyle.
Oh, God, I've never seen No Thank You, No Thank You, No. No.
Just when you thought that it couldn't get worse than Trisha, along he came.
No, I listened to LBC, and
of
then
course.
I put on Noel Edmonds, because I'm not that keen on Ian Lee.
Oh, don't say that.
Sorry.
But, yeah, Noel Edmonds. See, that is no kind of a programme. It's not a quiz. There's no audience participation. And yet, it's the most popular format that has been invented in the last year or so. It's sold around the world.
It's since... I think, I don't know, I'm not a critic, but since Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I think it's the best quiz show.
But you see, written down, this is what I don't get, because if you write that format down on a piece of paper, like all formats are, on a piece of A4, and you presented it to someone like Noel Edmonds, you'd look at it and you'd think, well, this is rubbish, because people come up with TV formats all the time, because this is a way to make money so you'd never have to work again. Come up with a quiz show format where you can sell it around the world, and you'd be putting your feet up and sparking up a cigar, Mandy, for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people are coming up with them all the time. TV executives are huddling into groups in bars, putting bottles of champagne on their expenses, and trying to, stop working. And so people like Noel Edmonds must get TV formats thrown at them all the time. And to have picked this one that looks like nothing at all, that looks like you'd think, well, this isn't even a show. What is it? You open the box, you win the money, that's it.
Yeah.
And the show of it is to string it out.
It's brilliant.
I just don't get it.
Do you watch it?
No, I've seen it, and I see it at the gym with the sound off, which is probably the best way to see it. But my eyes flick between that and watching the perverse videos that they have on MTV. I saw one the other day. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like I was on the bike. I was laughing my face off, partly with embarrassment more than anything else.
Was it sexy?
It was from it was the most overtly sexual thing I've ever seen on daytime television. My mouth was on the floor.
Come on, after the watershed, what was it?
It was gigantically fat, buxom women, no, they were fat, women, in saucy, lacy underwear that was almost non-existent, and they were doing the housework.
Oh.
They were ironing, and at the end, I had to stop cycling. I just couldn't take it anymore. A woman was sitting on a spin dryer and just jiggling away.
Yeah,
Mandy, I'm going to have to go away to come back, all right?
Will you come back to me?
Yes.
Okay, done.
Mandy.
Hi.
So you want to watch out for that video. Saucy like you wouldn't believe. It was awful. I mean, it wouldn't look out of place in a XXX rated video.
It didn't turn you on.
No, it was because I was trying to exercise, not sexercise. Exercise.
Have you got the computer there?
Have I got what?
The computer.
We've got loads of computers here. I'm surrounded by so many screens. I should be doing this show in a lead suit.
Can you get the LBC page up? I want you to look at something.
Well, I can get someone to do it for me. How's that?
We'll do it now.
All right, we're doing it now. lbc.co.uk.
Yeah.
Put it in your favourites list.
Absolutely. Go to Caroline Faraday.
Caroline Faraday.
Her blog.
Presenter blogs, yes.
And screen down to the bottom.
Hang on a minute.
Gary knows where it is.
We're following you, but slowly. Right down to the bottom. Oh!
Yes, they're going to be mine!
A little pussycat! What do you mean they're going to be yours?
I'm buying them.
You're buying them?
Yes!
Buying them?
Yes!
How much do they cost?
£275.
£275?
Each.
For a cat?
Yes!
You could go and there's loads of cats just wandering around the street. Why don't you just go and get one of those?
Blue eyes.
Looks a bit scary, actually. Their eyes are a bit too big for their face.
You should ask God.
No, they're gorgeous.
Is that one a bit fat? Or is it two cats in the one picture?
Old.
They're only how many?
What?
How many?
12 weeks.
Now, is the one on the right a bit fat, or is it two cats?
It's the same cat.
Oh, I think it's two cats. Two cats in the one picture. It's just that they're so white and fluffy that you can't tell where one cat ends and the other starts. So there's two cats, not one big fat cat, because that would be obscene. That would be
pictures look like
gigantically
they've,
fat.
Come from eBay.
That would be the kind of fat that they do to make foie gras.
Don't you think they're lovely?
Well, yeah. All right then.
No, you don't.
You're going to be covered in cat hair from head to toe. Look at the amount of hair on those cats. You could shave them.
You've got to brush them a lot.
That doesn't make any difference.
They're lovely.
You can brush them and comb them, and it won't make the slightest bit of difference.
You can wear that.
They'll shed hair like it's going out of style.
I don't know whether to get one or two, but
Oh, you have to get two.
yeah, because if I do,
They're friends.
They're brothers.
Why are you buying Caroline Faraday's cats?
No, they're mine. Nothing to do with Caroline. I emailed her the picture of them, and she's cat mad. And she had Anton Dubek, whatever his name is, in there with her that night from Strictly Come Dancing. And apparently he went all gooey.
Well, yeah.
Yes, quite. And she loves them. She just loves
So
them.
these cats don't have anything to do with Caroline Faraday. It's just like the picture.
Yeah.
Right.
She just...
Well, they're a delight.
They are.
Buy them and your house will never smell the same again.
Why?
You won't be able to get a job because you'll be constantly,
They don't have each other. Now, the other thing I wanted to say to you...
You're so gooey. You're like, I don't know, you're like a big fluffy ball of Christmas.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
See? Oh,
I
see?
think that's a compliment.
I think it is,
Coming
yeah.
From you.
Yeah.
Talking about me getting a job.
Yes, go on, get yourself a job, dear. Stop lounging around the place.
As well.
Huh?
I'm a researcher as well.
Researching what?
Music.
Researching music?
Yeah.
Oh, right. What kind of music? Here, I'll go research this.
What was it?
Wonderful.
Oh, I don't even know what it was.
What do you mean you're a music researcher?
When in a job I had for 15 years in the media business.
Oh, yeah.
We used to make infomercials. I've told you this before, but
Well, I remember nothing. I don't listen to this show.
you don't listen at all.
No.
Infomercials.
When I say this show, I mean any show that I'm on, not Clive's show. Clive's show I listen to. My show, I don't. No, I can't stand me.
Infomercials that... Actually, I saw a picture of you on the internet. You're quite cute.
Oh, talk about, just beautiful, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cute.
Yeah.
He...
Cute? What, like cute like a cat, you mean?
Cute like my kitten.
Or cute like a cow? Cute like a donkey? That sort of thing.
Not how I imagined you at all.
Right. Well, no one ever is. You hear a voice on the radio and you think, and then you see their face and you think, ugh.
That would be the lighting.
Yeah,
Well,
something like that,
I can email you
yeah.
a picture of me if you want.
It'll be the cameras. They always put £10 on you. Go on, ask me. How many cameras were on me?
You're not a fatty.
No.
I'm not a fatty.
I had the cholesterol content of a cheesy What's-It about 2 months ago, though. But I changed my ways, and now I have the cholesterol count of an Ethiopian long-distance runner.
I had a high cholesterol, and don't ask me why, because I'm skinny as a rake.
Why?
Don't know, but it's in my family. But I've got rid of it, got it down. Drink Benecol yogurt.
Without mentioning any brand names, Benecol yogurt, you say?
Yeah. One a night. Infomercials. We used to make them to sell those CD sets that you can buy off the side.
These CDs are not available in the store for a very good reason,
You
because
wouldn't want to
they're
buy them,
crap.
yeah.
Yes.
You can't buy these in the shops, and you wouldn't want to buy them.
No.
So I used
Only
to...
$24.99 plus
Yeah.
£4.99 postage and
I
packing.
used to...
Call now.
I used to collate those. Hits of the 60s, hits of the 70s, hits of the 80s.
Yeah.
I used to write the sleeve notes and research it all.
Did you?
Yeah. And license the tracks from the NCPS.
Yeah, I bet that was pretty easy, because all of those tracks are tracks that... they're like the tracks that are given away on CDs by newspapers. They're tracks that no one actually wants.
But these are all originals. They weren't copies. And they would... I can never say this. They would... I can't say it.
Do it.
Comes out right.
Say it.
Digitally remastered.
Digitally remastered, yeah.
Yes.
You did it, well done.
It's very hard to say.
You remember the Top of the Pops albums? This is going way back now. Top of the Pops, when they... that's probably right, yeah. When K-Tel used to advertise things on the telly. There used to be other people's versions of songs that were in the charts.
Yeah, awful.
Pickety Witch and Brotherhood of Man and... No, not Brotherhood of Man. That's a little later on, isn't it? Okay, let's try and think of...
Lindsay DePaul.
Lindsay DePaul, yes. Nana Muscuri.
Oh, my God.
Bongo said that he looks like Nana Muscuri, and I'd never have thought about it and before he said it. You know, Bongo, the singer of U2. And now I will never be able to look at him without thinking, yeah, Nana Muscuri.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, Mandy, go get yourself a job, you layabout.
I'm not a layabout. I'm really not. I'm looking so hard.
Yeah, right.
Help me, Nick.
Help you? No, I'm busy. I'm busy helping Louise at the moment.
I've got the radio voice.
Only one apprentice at a time.
I've got.
I know you don't need my help.
I do.
Anyway, Mandy, I've got to go. But good luck with your cats. All right.
Nick.
Yes.
Would you like me to email you a picture
of
me?
Email me a picture of your cats.
Oh, don't you want to see me?
No, I just want to imagine you as,
Is it nick@lbc.co.uk?
I've got no idea. I haven't picked up I don't know if I
might go to Nick Ferrari. You want to be careful.
Yeah, that's right. No,
Oh, God, yes, you're
I probably
right.
don't have an email account here. If I do, then it's unknown to me, because I've never actually
on
seen
air
it.
now?
I've got no idea, Mandy. Don't send me a picture. I want to imagine you just the way you aren't. All right. I gotta go. Cheers.
Take care.
Ta-da. Is Kensington. Hello, Noel.
Hello, Nick.
Noel.
Mandy used to be on the phones. You know the premium rate phone?
I know.
She said that's where she's got her voice from.
I know. Saucy and husky and deep.
Yeah, but she keeps on moving around the country and all. She never stays in one place.
One step ahead of the law, yeah.
Oh, I think that's why it must be it. Hey, Philip was talking earlier about the Sun and the pay TV years ago. I remember the Sun started its days as a broadsheet.
Yeah, this is all news to me. I was only 7 at the time.
Yeah, no, it started as a broadsheet and then it got to size. But the pay, I remember, because we had the pay-per-view thing.
Yeah, this is news to me as well. Pay-per-view was around in 1967.
Yeah, with cable. And what it was, I mean, when you think of it now, it's a simple little thing. The cable came into the house and they connected a coin box onto the end of the cable and then put another cable in through the television. And you put your coins in like the old gas meters.
Really?
Yeah. But then people realised that you could bypass the coin meter by just plugging the thing straight into the television.
Right.
So I think that's why they stopped it.
And what was on?
But I tell you what, I can't remember the films, but I will remember one thing. And it, excuse me, it brought hundreds and hundreds of people from all over London into Westminster, and that was, it done the Cassius Clay and Henry Cooper fight live.
Right.
And no one else could get, unless you went to the stadium, no one else could get the thing, you know. And every street, they were double parked all over the square. Everyone was sort of creeping into the homes that got this cable all set up. And you saw the fight there. You know, where Henry Cooper knocked out Cassius Clay and they slit his glove in the corner.
Yeah, like I said, I was a bit young at the time, and I don't think it's ever been, it's never been replayed that I've seen it.
I think Muhammad Ali has actually said that was done now. That his glove was deliberately cut when he went down. You know? So, that's not... But, no, I thought I'd let you know.
So it was so it's just one channel that came in, and you just had to take what they were giving you, and pay or not.
You didn't have the choice, but
Right.
you had to put the money in, like the coins in this little coin machine.
The golden age of television.
Sounds like the cinema.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I'm sure that's why they stopped it, because they suddenly realised that everyone had disconnected the coin machine and just plugged the cable straight back into the television.
Hard to believe that people had a criminal mind in 1967, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, days were the days. You know, no, that's why there was no mugging on the street.
No, of course not. No muggings, no murders, none of that stuff. It's all a modern invention, that is, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
And you know whose fault that is? Tony
Labour
Blair's.
Party. Yeah, Labour Party. Everything's down there. Hey, Nick, also, listen.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that studio.
What studio?
Clive Bull, the one you're in.
Oh, yeah.
Clive Bull has never had a night without a problem in that studio. He's had window cleaners.
Window cleaners?
Window cleaners in there cleaning the petition while he's on air. He's had office cleaners in sweeping up while he's on air. He's had builders drilling through the floors below while he's on air.
So it's it's not me, it's the studio. Oh, no, right now we're back to where we were at the beginning of the show. It's Halloween, it's witches and ghoulies, and maybe it's because I'm an evil, godless person that I'm being punished in this way.
Well,
something to think about, Noel, and that your name is Noel is really scaring me.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, I've got to go, but thanks a lot, mate, all right.
Okay, Nick.
Ta-ta, it's all becoming clear. It's 9:45. Is Travel with Karen Mercer.
The M25, it has...
Streatham. Hello, Colin.
Hello there.
How are you? I should just say every now and again that Clive is ill. Poor boy is sitting in bed with a hot cocoa, or, you know, his whatever equivalent comes with booze.
Right.
And I'm Nick Abbott, have been bussed in from Saturday night. Now, back with you, Colin.
Yeah, hello there. You all right?
Yes.
It's been a bit of a crazy night, hasn't it?
I've enjoyed it.
Have you? Right. I just getting back to the Hackney thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the worst places to live.
Yeah.
I've got mixed feelings about it, mate.
Go on.
As in, I've got a few good friends who live in Hackney and love it, including my girlfriend.
Now, what do they love about it, seriously?
Well, it's got a good vibe. It has actually got a few good places to go, and, you know, it's got a bad reputation, I think. You know, and it is, you do feel quite safe in Hackney. I do, anyway, walking around.
Well, you feel safe anywhere until someone attacks you.
Yeah.
Until you have personal experience of feeling, threatened. You feel safe anywhere.
Yeah. It's got a good theatre. Hackney Empire. Good stuff on there.
Anything that anyone would want to go and see right now?
I have no idea, actually.
Right.
But the other thing is, a few months ago, I had my car broken into in Hackney, you see, on the street.
Yeah, really good vibe, yeah.
No, this is why I've got mixed feelings about it, you see, because I love it, but I hate it, because I was parked in Hackney, and I'm disabled, and I just got my new blue badges through the post, displayed them, and in minutes my car had been broken into, and the badges have been stolen.
The badges are gone, right.
And that's the only reason they broke into the car.
Great.
So, so mixed feelings about Hackney. Yeah, well, it's a catch-22, though. If you don't display your badges, you get a ticket.
Yeah, if you display your badges, someone will break in.
Yeah. I was in, another point I want to bring up about displaying disabled badges. Did you know that in central London, I'm talking about sort of Soho, kind of Leicester Square kind of area, in that sort of 1.5 mile radius, there's only 3 spaces for blue badge holders?
Is that true? Because I know where 2 are off the top of my head.
Well, right, that's more than I do. I was driving around about half an hour the other night trying to find one.
Well, I'll tell you where the one is. If you go up Charing Cross Road, on the left, just as you know that little road that goes, it's an alleyway that goes towards Leicester Square.
Right.
Because there's 2 alleyways that goes towards Leicester Square, then you can't drive down them unless you've got,
a car?
Well... You can't drive down unless you need, unless you're a police car or you're dropping off goods or something. So there's that little alley, and there's restaurants on that little alleyway that goes down to Leicester Square. On the left, as you go heading north up Charing Cross Road, just there, right in front of an artist's goods shop, there's 2 spaces right there.
But the chances of them being empty when you want them...
No, you see, I'm trying to help you, Colin, and you're throwing negativity back at me.
No, I'm just saying that, I had to park in the big multi-storey car park there on Soho.
Well, I took out a mortgage, £186,000 that cost.
Yeah, something like that. It was ridiculous.
Isn't it a tenner an hour?
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
But at least your car's safe there, sort of.
Yeah, right. I'd like to be in that racket.
Would you?
The car parking racket.
Right. Yeah. On your list of places not to live, were there any places in Cornwall mentioned?
No, not one.
You see, because I'm originally from Cornwall.
Well, Cornwall's to us in London. Cornwall sounds immeasurably fantastic, doesn't it? Because you've got the sea and the sand and the surf, and the clean wind in your hair.
Right.
Nothing to do, mind.
No, there isn't. And my friend pointed out that I meet people from Cornwall, friends and people I don't know, and we go on about how Cornwall's brilliant, but we actually all live up here in London.
It's like one of those places that's good to visit.
Yeah.
Or if you're really old, to live in.
Right. I've had this idea when because I'm only 28, but when I get a bit older and retire, I'm going to open up. I know it's a bit of a stereotype that all Cornish people eat pasties, but it's actually true as well. And any lunchtime, all the pasties shops are sold out, right? So I think, bring it into the 21st century, I'm going to have a drive-through pasty shop.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
Yeah.
By this time, in the year 2030, you'll be a millionaire.
Do you reckon?
No. But I wish you good luck with it, all right.
Thank you.
You're going to need it. Remember, as you head north, on your left, 2 spaces outside the art shop, all right?
All right, cheers, mate. Thank you.
This is LBC 97.3. I'm Nick Abbott. What's on at the at that place then?
God is a DJ.
God is a DJ. Hey, God isn't a DJ. God is a DJ. That's a band, isn't it?
Or that's some sort of an expression, isn't it?
No, it's I'm sure it's a band of some kind.
God is a DJ.
It was a Faithless song, but it's a play they've made about
movement and music.
Sounds awful. What else?
The World Temple Revolution... No, Our Evolution Tour.
Dreadful. Anything else?
British Night of Champions, a
bodybuilding contest. Oh, no.
Hang on, 22nd of the 10th. We've missed it.
Oh, a bodybuilding contest. A lot of guys oiling themselves up and showing themselves their muscles.
Are you very sure you're not homosexual?
Who's Joe Brown?
Oh, God. It doesn't get any worse than that. Is he still going?
Only just.
Despite public acclaim.
Dirty wine.
He's still doing it. So that guy was wrong. There's nothing on at the Hackney, whatever you call it. What's it called? The Hackney
Empire. Yeah.
Accidental Death of an Anarchist. There you are. You see, there is something. Madame Butterfly.
Madama.
You get better. Oh, Madama Butterfly.
Yes.
Is that a typo? Let's.
Yes.
No, it is Madama Butterfly. Ross Noble. I guess he's funny.
Yes.
So there are things. Well, there you are. And
there we go.
It's worth going just to go, right? Because it's the Hackney Empire. And it's properly lovely. Let's go with Wimbledon. Fariba.
Oh, hello, Mr. Nick Abbott. It's lovely to hear you Monday night.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Fariba.
And I just want to say, I do have a newspaper in front of me, which, again, by some kind of accident, I find it about weeks ago. But one of them is 1959, and one, funny enough, it's the date. Very accurate. It says December 16, 1961, which if in reversible, reading, 1961. And there are few articles, but you can choose, or you can tell me if you want I read one.
Well, what papers are they?
Yeah, definitely. Good question, Nick. Actually,
thank you.
This is a good version of
I'm a professional.
Yes, Daily Mirror, Daily Mail.
Daily Mail or the Daily Mirror?
Daily Mail, and it is the size of the present version of the Daily Telegraph size. As you know.
All right, well, let's go with the Daily Mail.
Yes, Daily Mail size at the time 61 or 59 was the the size we call it A4, A3, that size. Whereas Daily Mail nowadays is much smaller.
Right.
But
well,
having said that, it's
not the size that matters, Fariba.
Yeah.
It's what's in it that counts.
Yes.
So what's on the front? Give us some saucy story from the front page from 19 wherever.
Yes, dear. I am going ahead. If you don't mind, it says here, up with the decoration for Christmas. Here it says, I told you we shouldn't have watched it. Then it says, Mom, Dad's getting it up. That means 3.
Mum and Dad are getting it up.
Yes.
They could get away with that kind of material in 1959?
Yes, and also 61. Sorry, this one I'm reading is from December 16.
Well, we've got to get it straight, yeah.
Yeah. Then it says, the picture number 3, it says, then suddenly the ladder slipped. Picture 4, or the...
are these stories, or what is this? Is this what's on the front page?
Let's try finish, Nick. Then he said, well, don't just stand there. Dial 999 or something. The last picture, which is like a cartoon, all that funny picture. It says, Mistletoe, what the heck to do we want the mistletoe for? But back to the main first page.
So that was a cartoon. You were giving us a cartoon from 1959. Well, humour is usually time specific, but we're outside we're looking stony faced. Inside we're laughing. But thanks for the old news, Fariba. But I have to go and then. All right, cheers. Bye. This show is if nothing else international.
Meet Careful Kev.
A penny saved is because I don't know myself.
No one does. Here's one in Stanford Hill. Hello, Mike.
Hi, good evening to you, Nick.
Mike.
Thank you for letting me call in. First time caller. I couldn't help not to ring. I just had to ring after hearing the caller who mentioned about the healing of their son, the Christian chap.
Yeah.
His son was healed by the power of God.
No, perhaps not. He just healed.
Well,
fortunately, he got better. Yeah.
Well, you're saying that, but then if we look at it from a scientific point of view, there's theories and there's reality. For him, that was the reality. For him, the doctors presented a situation that sounded as if it was critical, as if it was inoperable, as if the chemotherapy wasn't working, and then the power of God came in through prayer.
No such thing happened, because if the power of God comes through prayer when you're ill, then how come it doesn't work for everybody else?
Well,
how come it worked for this guy that was stealing stuff from graveyards?
Everybody doesn't pray correctly.
Oh, you have to pray correctly. Right. You have to get down first on your left knee and then your right.
Well, no, if we look at Matthew 6, where the
Oh, please, no, I can't, I just can't. I won't. I'm not going to have anybody quoting selected bits of the Bible in order to back up what they're saying. If I knew anything about the Bible and had memorised certain chunks of it, then I could come back with something that would say exactly the opposite to what you just said. You can take the Bible and you can twist it any kind of way you like to back up any kind of point you want to make. I think there's a bit in the Bible that says that you cannot wear clothes of mixed fibres. But no one says, no one picks that one up, do they?
That's just the washing instructions.
Yeah, no, it's just, it had nothing to do with, prayer, if it makes you positive, will help, sure. But it's the positivity that will help. It's not the actual prayer, because why would it work for one person and not another? If it's actually prayer, what does it? Believing in this stuff actually doesn't, it's kind of like stepping backwards. Let's try to keep moving forwards. And not leap backwards in time thousands of years, because if we keep going like that, then we'll be cutting off animals' heads and offering them up to the gods, and that wouldn't please them a lot, because then they'd be dead. So have we cleared that up then? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. This is LBC 97.3. Clive is ill. I'm Nick Abbott. The number's 0870 9090 973. And, God willing, we'll be back after this.
On FM. On DAB.
Welcome. Come on in.
This football bike thing, that was kind of hilarious, wasn't it? I couldn't believe what I was watching. He turned into an animal. It was really bizarre. Isn't it weird that people would attack each other with their face? It's just, of all the things that are available to you, it's just not, it just doesn't seem, it just seems bizarre, doesn't it? Like you would attack someone with your face. You'd think that would be the very thing that you'd want to protect. Not go in first with. It was just properly strange to look at. Here's the story. Spurs star Jermaine Defoe prepared to clamp his jaws on arrival yesterday in one of the most amazing scenes witnessed in English soccer. Striker Defoe, 24, bit the arm of Javier Mascherino after being brought down. Defoe's face was contorted with anger as he put the bite on. Yeah, it was. Fans were stunned. But last night, Tottenham Hotspur coach Martin Jol insisted it was only a nibble. He said it was only a nibble. Just a part of the game. No, it's not. That's part of foreplay, not football. Referee Steve stepped in to separate the pair, who were both on the ground amid amazing scenes at White Hart Lane. Now, if two blokes are on the ground and one's nibbling the other, I mean, what does that sound like to you? A 20-man brawl erupted as opposing players squared up, and it took several minutes to restore order. They were like, I saw him first. No, he's mine. Ooh, you bitch, I poke your eyes out. Ex-West Ham player Defoe, an England striker, was given a yellow card, as was the Argentinian Mascherino. Spurs boss Jol, whose team won 1-0, insisted the bite was a joke. He said Defoe was nibbling. I mean, he made something that was amusing, just laugh out loud funny. Nibbling, you know. You know the word nibbling, he said. Nibbling his arm, he was. But if you ask Mascherino to show you any marks, he will not be able to. Mascherino kicked Jermaine 3 times from behind in 10 minutes, and Defoe wanted to show his frustration in a nice comical way, said Jol. The police said that no allegation of a crime has been made. I was proceeding in a northwesterly direction when I espied a gentleman gnawing on another person. I advised them to get a room as there were children present. Here's one in Selsdon. Hello, Danny.
Hello, mate.
Danny,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Nick?
Super, thanks for asking.
I'm just waiting to you keep asking everyone what they want to talk about. Let's see what you want to talk about tonight.
Well, I keep mentioning loads of things. I've talked about all sorts of things.
Just any sort of subject you want to talk about tonight before I start cracking on?
No, I'm happy to talk about anything. Try me.
I was that silly woman talking about cats. Let's talk about that first of all.
All right. I want to talk about cats.
Yeah, so I want to talk about cats.
Well, I'm not holding you back.
Well, I hate them. I've got a problem. Every time
That covers it.
Every time I see him on the street, I just want to get hold of them and do what I don't want to explain over the radio.
Right, okay, well, thanks, Daddy, that was great. Cheers, mate. Best of luck. I'm praying for you, all right. Here's one in the West End. Joe!
Yeah.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah. For the sake of any other disabled people, there is one disabled bay in Charles II Street, right beside Her Majesty's Theatre.
Where's Charles II Street?
Haymarket.
Her Majesty's Theatre. Oh, right, the big one that used to have, what's on there now?
Phantom of the Opera.
Right. Okay, so we've found 3 already.
We've found 3 already, yeah. The Westminster Council were very, very loath to have anybody parking on their street, especially disabled people who need to get to certain places in the West End. It's just disgusting.
They
the
just...
number of disabled spaces there is.
They just don't like it, do they?
They don't like it, no. It's the worst council in London for people to be able to park who are disabled.
I think it's probably the best council if you're living there because it costs the least.
Yeah, well, you can't even park on a single or double yellow line with your badge in Westminster.
I found the world's most perfect parking space because I have to drive in on Sundays sometimes to go to work, and in the Sundays in the afternoon it's just as bad as it is on an ordinary workday. You just can't park anywhere except for this one place that's about 10 yards from Trafalgar Square. And it's always there because people are frightened of parking there, and it's as though it's my personal parking space. And every time I go in, I know it's going to be there waiting for me. Can you believe it? And I bet you'd like me to tell you where it is, and I won't. It's my secret.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's another place that's suddenly had a revolution, which is Queenstown Road, just over Chelsea Bridge, where the hot dog stall is.
Hot dog stall, wait a minute, hang on, let's try and place this. Just over Chelsea Bridge, yeah. There's a hot dog stall.
As soon as you get off the bridge...
The south side?
There's a hot dog stall.
On the south side?
Yeah, on the south side of the
Right,
river.
because they wouldn't have a hot dog stall on the north side of Chelsea Bridge, would they? It wouldn't fit in at all. People would be complaining they would.
Well, they just built a big block of flats there, and I think that the penthouse on it is up for about £2 million.
Bound to be, yeah. £1,000 a square foot, I bet.
For years and years and years, the hot dog stall's been there. I can remember it being there when I used to go out with my father in his lorries. And I'm 74 now. And because of these posh people have all moved into these penthouses, they complained about the noise. I can understand
And the smell, I would think, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand it when the motorcycles are there on a Friday, and the American cars on the last Friday in each month.
Do they still do that? The custom car crawl?
Yeah. And but now that nobody can park there, and the ones with council have two traffic wardens up there, and all the rest of their traffic wardens go home at 5 o'clock, and you can't park there at all now.
Well, listen, let's get the hot dog stands off the street. I mean,
No,
really.
no, this is a smashing place for a hot dog, a burger.
Yeah, but you know what they put in hot dogs, don't you? That's right. I mean, I'd rather go vegan than eat a hot dog. Come off it. I mean, just the smell would put you off.
No, it's nice. It's a nice place. Everything's clean. I've eaten there for years and years and years. Never had a dicky tummy or anything.
Well, you must have a constitution of, I don't know, what eats anything? A dog,
I'm
yeah,
a
all right.
man.
Yeah, you have a dog.
Well, no, it's a smashing hot dog stall.
But it is no more.
It is there. Yeah, they tried to get that shut, but they can't because it's the council license. It's licensed by the council.
It's those people that have those portable ones, and they just show up. Sometimes they go up on the bridge at the embankment. You know those two beautiful new bridges. Well, they're not very new anymore. Those one of the greatest additions to the Thames. They are. They're great. And sometimes you go across there, and there'll be people selling hot dogs from. And it looks like they've just flown in from Azerbaijan that day, and brought the meat with them. It stinks. How do they get them up there?
Well, the ones that are all around the West End, as you come up Lower Regent Street, there's a turning on the right-hand side. They duck down there, and then there's a dead-end turning to the right down the end of there, and a big truck comes along, and they unload it all out of the truck.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, we want to follow the truck, and then then an airborne surgical strike, perhaps. Let's think about it, shall we?
Yeah, right on.
All right, cheers, Joe.
Cheers, mate, bye.
Ta-ta. So posh people are against hot dogs. Quite right, too. Awful. Here's Tottenham. Mike.
Yes, sir, you're all right.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing? All right?
I'm all right.
Yeah, you're good. The reason why I call up is to tell you that Clive, I'm not really ill, you know.
Clive is not really ill.
I'm not really missing him in a blues dance on Saturday night.
In a blues dance?
In a blues dance, him wine and grinding woman and everything.
Doesn't sound like Clive.
I'm telling you, him wine and grind woman, him have a bottle of bud in one hand, and he can't really tell you what him have in the other hand, you know?
Right. Well, if you told me, I probably wouldn't understand.
Well, him a wine and grind woman, and him a bogle and skank and do everything, but him not really ill, you know?
He was smoking skank? That really doesn't sound like Clive at all.
No, I said it was skanking to the music.
Oh, skanking to the music, right, whatever that is. Sounds perverted.
Well, just, you know, like I said, I'm not really ill, you know, him go blues dance.
So he's not ill, he's illin', is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not really ill, you know, him a wine and grind woman, you know.
Whining and grinding, yeah. Okay, well, it sounds like a great night out.
All right.
Thanks for painting the picture, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Ta-da. So, is everyone... Oh, we've got to do this in a moment. I'm going to talk about Richard Hammond. I'm going to say things that people will be stunned by, because this man has been elevated to sainthood just by dint of crashing.
He's the new Diana, isn't he?
He will be, yeah. They've been searching for... I had not thought about that, yeah. They've been searching for something for a good long while, and they tried to give us that woman who's now doing that Tidy Your Flat show. What's her name? She married that bloke and they had a Twix at the wedding. Everyone was very upset.
Anthea Turner.
Anthea Turner, yeah, they went with her for a little while, and it didn't really work out. But now, Hamster's going to be the new Princess Di. They've been searching for a good long while. They'll have him change his hair, and he'll fit right in. So I'll talk about that in just a moment, but we'll do this first. This is LBC.
It started a year ago with Fatima.
Some of the things I'd like to talk about over the next couple of hours. Water saving. I tried saving water and it didn't work. Like, I really tried hard over the summer to save water, and nothing I did made the slightest bit of difference. So I'd like to talk about that. I want to talk about Jim Davidson. I want to talk about Robin Hood. Has anybody been watching that? Did you see that Robin Hood thing?
I've seen the first 2 episodes, and...
Right. You sat all the way through them, did you? Oh, well done.
I did indeed.
And Torchwood. There's something else that I...
Did you see that?
Yeah. I lasted longer with Torchwood than I did with Robin Hood. Scientology and corruption in the building business. 0870 9090 973. So those are some of the things I want to talk about. But this one is about Richard Hammond. Top Gear host Richard Hammond is thrilled to be going back to work after his horror car smash, colleagues said yesterday. This is in the Sun. And the same story was in the Sun as was in the Telegraph, and it's 2 very different ways that they've written this up. A £2 million, this is the Sun says, a £2 million 2-year golden handcuffs deal was offered to keep him at the BBC as he spoke for the first time about his accident. Dad of 2, Richard, 36, nicknamed Hamster, hopes to resume his career as soon as possible, and bosses are backing him all the way. A source said, "It's great news for Richard. Top Gear means the world to him, and he'd never want to leave. He wants it to run and run, and has such a great time on the show that he's always thrilled to be going into work." Well, you would be, wouldn't you? £2 million. The BBC see Richard as one of their top presenters, someone to be cherished. A BBC spokeswoman said yesterday, Richard Hammond has signed an exclusive 2-year deal with the BBC. We are delighted. Now, that sounds as though, in hospital, they went around with a piece of paper and asked him to sign this, doesn't it? And I thought, well, how can someone with suspected brain damage sign a binding contract? I mean, you wouldn't think that the law would uphold that, would you? But apparently that's not what happened at all. I'll just read the last bit that I'm going to do in the Sun. Last night, pals revealed that he's suffering short-term memory loss. Richard, who had brain injury in a 300-mile-an-hour... Was he going 300 miles? I thought it was 2... No, I guess it was 3, wasn't it? Because 200 is not that... you could go 200 mile an hour in a Reliant Robin these days. It was almost 300 mile an hour smash. He can't even remember what his last meals were. Well, I get that. You asked me what I did at the weekend, and I've got no idea. I couldn't tell you what I had for dinner yesterday. My short-term memory is worse than a goldfish, because we come to find out that goldfish don't have a 7-second memory span. They can remember stuff from 3 months ago.
You're in on the wrong day for a start.
Yeah, that's right. So forgetful, I don't even know what day it is. But that happens a lot. I mean, I have no kind of a memory, and no one's offered me £2 million a year. But that's the story in the Sun. It appears as though the BBC rushed around the hospital and asked him to sign the deal. So thrilled were they with, all the great publicity he's been getting. But the Telegraph sets us straight. It says Richard Hammond, the Top Gear presenter, is still subject to the 2-year deal he signed shortly before the 300-mile-an-hour crash he had while filming the show, the BBC said last night. Still subject. Not we've just given him a contract. He's still under contract. It applies that... this is a negative slant, because in the Sun it was, oh, we're so thrilled with him, we've given him £2 million. Here, it's, we're still insisting that he fulfills the terms of the contract. Before the accident, Hammond, 36, is reported to have signed a £2 million deal before the accident. Not after. Reported to have signed a £2 million deal to carry on presenting the show. But now his profile has been raised even further, the corporation said. If it was a golden handcuff, a BBC spokesman was not commenting on the size of the deal. Let's just assume that they're right, £2 million. It's correct that he's signed an exclusive contract, the spokesman said. But see, the implication there is that he mistakenly signed before he had the crash. He should have waited till after he had the crash, and then they'd have probably offered him Jonathan Ross money. Because now he hasn't been out of the papers for the last month. And his profile, like they say, is through the roof. So he could probably ask them for any kind of money he wanted, and they would say yes. Because if there's... In radio, it's... the thing that they're most keen on is if you've been on television. That'll get you a big contract, is if you've been on TV. On TV, the thing that they're most interested in is if you've been in the papers. They just throw money at you. And so now he's had more publicity than he could ever have got through his work. He's the implication is that he's now tied to a paltry £2 million. It's like $1 million a year, which for TV money isn't that much. Even in this country, it's not that much. But I have a problem with all of this because he's been accorded the status of a saint as Richard Hammond just because. Not because he is great on TV, not because of the tremendous work that he did on Top Gear or that science thing that's on Sky, not because he's a super nice bloke or he's cute, but he's been accorded the status of a saint and is virtually untouchable like the Queen Mother, simply because he pulled some stupid stunt that he wasn't qualified to do and it went wrong. He went along at 300 mile an hour and had a crash. Big surprise, right? So now he is beyond criticism. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to be the first one to raise a finger of complaint here, because, you know what? I never felt that he was any good. I watch Top Gear, and it's one of my favourite shows. I think it's a brilliantly well put-together programme. Jeremy Clarkson is properly funny, and James May is droll and amusing in a kind of throwback to the 70s Luddite way, and he plays that up. And then Richard Hammond, well, what is he exactly? What does he actually bring? He allows Clarkson to make jokes about he's short. Well, that doesn't go very far and doesn't say very much about him. You know, when they have the films, when they get into the car and they go sideways round corners, when Jeremy Clarkson's doing it, it's good value for money, right? Are you with me? You watch this show, right, Elliot?
I do.
You're a bloke. Of course you do. And so when Jeremy Clarkson is doing a piece about a Koenigsegg or some fancy piece of hardware, then you know it's going to be funny and amusing and engaging. And when James May is doing it, then it will be it'll be engaging and occasionally amusing. But when Richard Hammond does it, you think, oh, I wish they'd given it to Jeremy Clarkson, because he just doesn't seem to bring anything to it at all. And the reason is because he is a presenter, by which I mean he is bland and beige and is you could miss him even when you're looking at him.
But allegedly a bit of a gay icon.
Well, that's not going to help him on Top Gear, is it?
Maybe he balances things out a little bit. Brings a little bit of the effeminate side to all the laddishness. Maybe that's the appeal in these days of equality.
Yeah, okay. Pick up a car magazine and see how much femininity is in it. If that
femininity
actually
that
worked,
isn't bearing its breast.
If that actually no, it isn't. If that actually worked, then there'd be there'd be pink cars all over him, and there ain't. You see, the thing with him is he is a presenter. He's just one of these guys who you could put in any program, and TV's full of these people. They don't actually bring anything to it other than a certain sort of glass of water quality. There's just nothing to them. They don't impinge on the program. It's just the producer can bring them in and they'll read off the auto cue, something that somebody else has written, and it won't get in the way much. They'll just smooth it along. The key to this guy is he's a DJ. That's where they found him. He was a local radio DJ. And when you twig on that, you think, oh yeah, that's right.
He was a guest on LBC.
That's exactly what
in
he
the past. He used to come on about car repairs or something, and apparently he knew nothing about it.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't seem like when he's doing those little films that he actually has much idea of what he's talking about. He's just a DJ. He's just a bland kind of put them anywhere presenter. And nobody's saying this because he almost died, right? That's why nobody has said a bad word against him. But it's like Carol Smiley or, TV's full of these people. And they show up doing a travel program one day and then it'll be, I don't know, all these formats. They always need someone to stand in front and say, here is Simon Cowell or whatever it might be that they're doing. And he's just one of those guys. I mean, does anybody want to read a column written by him? No. But I buy the Sunday Times to read the column written by Jeremy Clarkson, because he's funny. I just don't think he brings anything to the programme, other than he'll look at the camera and do a big wide-eyed thing, as though to say, look at me, aren't I cute? Principally because he's not funny. He can't come up with funny stuff. And I am, mark it down in your diary, the first person to say this. I won't be the last. People will, shortly, because columnists who write in newspapers, this is their lifeblood, right? You stare at a blank page, and you've got a deadline coming up. You've got to fax the thing in by 3 in the afternoon, and you've got no idea what to write. It must be a nightmare. And so what they do is they see what everybody else is writing about. And first of all, there's like a wave of opinion. First of all, everybody thinks the same thing. And at the moment, everyone thinks that Richard Hammond is super smashing great, and we can't wait till he gets better and is back on the TV doing his good old stuff. And everybody's writing the same thing. And then once you've written it, you can't write it again the following week. And so people start racking their brains and think, oh, God, what can I write now? And usually it's, I'll just write exactly the opposite of what I wrote last week. And then it's a no-brainer. You just really put all the yeses or nos and all the positives and negatives, and then the column has just written itself. And you can see this. You can chart columnists' brains by just going from week to week. Keeping the paper, that's the key. If you keep the paper and just check from one week to the next, they will flip from positive to negative because it doesn't require any thought. And so all of the people, and it will start very shortly, I guarantee it, now that he's off the critical list, they'll all start doing exactly what I've just said and saying, wait a minute, this bloke's rubbish. I mean, what does he actually do? I mean, he's not... It's hard to feel strongly about him because he's just one of those people that you don't feel strongly about. You know what I mean? It's like Carol. I keep coming up with this name, Carol Smiley, 'cause I can't, because these aren't the sort of programmes that I would watch, that just have bland, do-it-all presenters. Come on, think of some for me, guys. There's Carol Smiley and who else? And it's hard to think of them because they don't make any impression on you.
Yeah, no, I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. They don't.
The one that does X Factor that just smiles and commiserates the losers.
Right, that woman. Yeah, no idea who she is. And you could put her on a travel programme or, like a local news programme doing the funny story at the end, and they just don't register because there's nothing to them. Like they're a clear glass of water. And and TV, light entertainment, relies on these people just to take the programme from the start to the end and do what the producer has in mind. And he is one of those people. If you took him out of Top Gear, would it be a worse programme? No. In fact, it would be a better programme because it would give Jeremy Clarkson more to do. And that's my lesson for today. And I'll be the first one to say it, but every other columnist will be saying it right after you. Oh, it's the news. Oh, let's go. I was going to come back that quick. I didn't realise we had to go out that quick or come back that quick. I've got a mouthful of chunky Kit Kat. Hang on. Oh, a delicious cup of tea. Hey, Jethro.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm right. You should do a taste test. That's what Clive always does.
A taste test?
A taste test, yeah, on a Kit Kat. Is it a standard Kit Kat?
No, it's a Kit Kat chunky.
Chunky,
and I only say it that way because... Oh, it's pointeless saying it now.
It's a man's Kit Kat.
So, on a previous radio station, an extremely camp bloke used to come in and tell me he was eating a Kit Kat chunky. Anyway...
I think they sound manly, don't they?
They do, yes. But not the way I just said it.
No, but perhaps that camp guy was just trying to get a taste of the other, as it were.
I think we better leave that one alone, don't you?
Okay.
So, what's up, Jethro?
Well, what's up?
Maybe I'd better rephrase that.
Yeah, well, there's about, I don't know, half the world's population starving to death. Chinese people still don't live under a democratic regime. They're still occupying Tibet. The ice caps on both the polar regions are melting.
Yeah, still, never mind, eh?
Yeah, apart from that, it's pretty okay.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, good. What about Natasha Kaplinsky? I'm not convinced of her as a morning TV presenter.
Which one is that again?
Is it Kaplinsky?
It's the one that dances, did the dancing.
I don't watch any of that stuff. I refuse. I paid for it with my licence, but I won't watch it.
Yeah.
They can't get me twice. Natasha Kaplinsky.
Yeah. Have you swallowed all that Kit Kat yet?
Well, it's coming back a bit, yeah. I swallowed it too quick.
Oh, dear. Was it on Thai food tea or in Tetley's tea, or what?
I don't know. Tell me.
It's PG.
PG, you say, without
on
mentioning
PG, right.
names. Yeah.
Organic or non-organic?
We're not that posh. No budget.
We just get what we're given.
Right, fair enough. Oh, I see.
So which one's Natasha Kaplinsky?
She's the one who looks very, very pretty, but she's a bit of a dumb blonde, I think.
What, the woman who reads the news? Dumb blonde? I find that hard to believe.
No, she's in the but she does the morning. I don't know if she still does it, but for a while ago she did the morning show, and then she did Strictly Come Ballroom dancing, twirling round, and falling in love with the guy who's teaching her type thing.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. A picture of Natasha Kaplinsky looking like a dumb blonde. Yeah, but I'm sure she's not.
She went to Oxford, you know.
Did she really?
She did, yeah.
What, to go shopping?
Yeah. Or was it in the Jeffrey Archer sense that he went to Oxford Brookes?
She impressed me because I think on the Gulf War, the Second Gulf War, when there was a skirmish firefight going on, and they were showing it live for us to be entertained in the morning as when we're drinking our Thai food Tetley's or PG Tips and eating our Kellogg's cornflakes. She said to the live reporter as there was bullets flying around all over the place, she said, "Is it a big fight or a small fight?" And I thought, what a significant and profound thing to say as men are just about to get shot to bits.
Yes.
But there we go.
That's breakfast news television for you.
It's a confusion between awful reality and entertainment, isn't it?
I've got to stop watching it. I've got to start taping The Simpsons or something to ease myself into the day, because I start every single morning bits of porridge just flying across the room as I'm shouting at the television.
Do you like just as an aside, and completely nothing to do with what I phoned in about, did you ever like Chris Evans, when he started the Big Breakfast Show with Channel 4?
Yes.
Did you? I mean, that was a new sort of format for for morning, wasn't it? It took the seriousness out of morning TV for a while, didn't it?
It was superb, yes.
And he couldn't sustain it for very long. With Gabby Roslin as well, wasn't it? She was his sidekick, basically.
Yeah. No, it was. There was a period there where that was absolutely the thing that you wanted to watch.
And there was the guy who now presents the pop quiz on BBC Two, going out into streets and waking people up in northern council house estates and saying, "You're on the TV now." Mark Lamar. Do you remember that?
Mark Lamar?
Mark Lamar, yeah.
That was him?
He was on a Big Breakfast for a while, yeah.
I don't remember that.
I remember it, yeah.
I thought it was Keith Chegwin.
No, he did it for a while. Well, no,
Cheggers?
Yeah. He did it for a while, but I think Lamar did it as well. And then he had...
Keith Chegwin showing up at your door first thing in the morning would be bad enough, but Mark Lamar...
Certainly shock you into the morning,
He's more of a man of the evening, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but I don't think he was particularly famous then, so he had to make his break into TV somehow.
Right.
As we all do.
No, it was properly great at that time because, as you say, it was completely new and exciting and vital and it was refreshing apart from anything else. And it didn't last very long, but it was like a firework. It was great while it was going. Yeah.
It set a new kind of not the word, a new, not standard necessarily, but a new avenue into breakfast time TV. Now, I think they tried to repeat the format. They tried to get people in, didn't they, after Evans left, to try and take his place, but no one could really do that.
Well, I tell you who I used to like for and for 10 minutes while he reviewed the papers, it was often the funniest thing on TV that day was Johnny Vaughan.
Oh, right, I never saw that.
Which made me think that he would be great on radio, because that was the only part of the show that was just him making it up off the top of his head. He'd just get the papers, and he'd go through them. And I thought, what you should do is radio, mate. Shame he's never thought of that.
I thought you'd gone to do it for Capital. You've been ironic. You've been deliberately ironic here.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, I missed that one. Sorry about that.
Oh, well. Better luck next time, eh?
Rewind and do it again.
Oh, yeah.
7-second delay.
Fortunately, this isn't live, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll edit it out.
What I want to talk about is the social reality of corruption in the building industry.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I've got some experience of that.
Let me give you the story first, and then we'll hear your shocking tale, all right?
What sort of standard story? Is this going to be children's entertainment, noddy, or is it going to be a bit more serious?
The construction industry is riddled with corruption, says its own trade body, the Chartered Institute of Building. This is amazing. It's not everybody else saying, pointing the finger at them. They've come out with it, unbidded. With London in the midst of the biggest infrastructure construction boom in its history, look at the skyline, it's nothing but cranes. How do they get cranes up, by the way?
They start at the bottom. Is that a good enough answer?
I've got no idea, but how do they get cranes up? Because I can understand how they get the bit that the vertical part up, but how do they get the horizontal bit on without lifting it on with another crane? And if they do that, how do they build the other crane? Aha! I've never understood that.
Have you had that poor joke about the can I make... No, don't make jokes about have a racial kind of thing.
No, best not, eh? Keep them to yourselves, mate. That might work where you live, but not over here, no. With London in the midst of the biggest infrastructure construction boom in its history, the industry's lobby group has found the vast majority of its professionals believe fraudulent practices are acceptable. Not just that they go on, it's that it's acceptable. And that nearly half have personally offered a bribe. This is incredible.
Unbelievable.
The capital's building boom includes the Olympic site and Wembley, Heathrow's Terminal 5 and the Thames Gateway development, its biggest shopping centre, Westfield in Shepherd's Bush, the M25 superhighway widening and the myriad new major rail developments. However, a stunning report from the trade body of the building business has found that in a survey ranging from directors of major concerns to small businesses, that most construction professionals have either been involved in corruption or see it as part of everyday working life. In a catalogue of corrupt practices, which also shows that many in the business believe the levels of fraud are getting worse, the survey of 1,400 individuals found 41% have offered a bribe at least once. Now, that's 41% who admitted it, so you'd have to think that figure is like close to 100%.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the most crooked businesses in the whole wide world, British building. 75% thought bribery to obtain a contract is not corrupt. Not that they did it, but they just didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
34% knew of evidence of cartel activity. 64% knew of corruption during the procurement bidding process. 76% thought that collusion between bidders for contracts is not corrupt. In other words, they're stitching it up between themselves.
Yeah.
Over 3/4 thought the employment of illegal workers is not corrupt.
Yeah.
And around 4/5 thought that falsifying contract expenses, putting in fraudulent invoices or making up timesheets is not corrupt. And the one thing that they didn't talk about are planners, how the builders deal with the planners, how they get planning permission from the councils to throw up this stuff. If you go along the River Thames, what you'll find is that every last inch of land has been taken over by executive flatlets, tiny little featureless boxes with no cupboards or any room to put furniture, which can only be inhabited by one person comfortably. But no family would want to live there because there's nowhere to put your stuff. It's totally children unfriendly, and so what you get is companies buying them all and then renting them out. In other words, totally transient neighbourhoods. What council could honestly say that that would be the best way to use the land that they are granting permission for these buildings for? To throw up buildings that have no contact with the surrounding area. They don't have, they don't infiltrate in any way with the people that are already living there. They're islands, little islands of wealth. The people that park their cars underneath and leave, and they don't go to the corner shop because they get everything delivered from Waitrose, and they don't touch the surrounding area because most of the surrounding area along the river was pretty awful. You know, back in the day, if only we'd thought about this 40 years ago, we could have been millionaires, Jethro, because we would have bought up scraps of crappy land right on the river, and we'd have sold it for £100 million for somebody to throw up another identical glass and steel building to put a 30-year-old executives in it.
Yeah.
In it.
Who might you imagine that inhabit those highly wealthy rabbit hutches?
I know exactly who it is. It's
Chelsea footballers.
Well, I don't know. I don't
Kate
think.
Moss.
No, I don't think so. I think
East End stars. East End stars.
No, they're all people who are middle executives in their 20s and 30s
In the city.
who aren't married.
Aren't married, that's interesting.
Blokes who live on their own because they don't have any furniture and they don't have any wives or children or all the stuff that goes with that because there's no cupboards to put anything. There's a tiny cupboard. You put a couple of suits in there, and that's it. That's why they're soulless places, because there is no soul to them. People live there for 6 months and then they move out again.
Where do they go to? Do they marry Filipino cleaners from the East
Yeah,
End?
that's exactly what they do, yeah.
Yeah.
All of them.
I thought it was really interesting, that news item, wasn't it, about that that Brazilian cleaner who got involved with those 2 immigration judges.
Yeah.
That was very interesting, I thought.
Thrilling.
I think they're both. I have to be careful because it's what you say.
They better not say anything at all. Until the Paul McCartney thing came along, it was mildly interesting, yeah, but then something much juicier and better came along, yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you thrilled beyond measure that they're fighting and not working it out between them? Because it could have all, it could have all happened really quietly.
Yeah.
But no, they're going to thrash it out in public. How great is that?
Well, the thing is, I can't quite understand, being a man of lowish level income, is that I want about a divorce settlement of £14 million.
You're cracking up a bit. Move to the window. Perhaps someone's building a high-rise between you and the phone mast as we speak.
No, it's just I can't understand how Heather Mills McCartney couldn't imagine that she could survive the rest of her life on the interest earned on a settlement of somewhere between £40 and £80 million. I mean,
well, I read in the paper today that she hasn't been offered anything.
I thought he contacted her originally and offered her a certain amount, and she'd knocked it back.
Well, that's what we read in the paper then. But you know what? You can't believe anything you read in the paper, particularly certain papers.
Oh, right.
But no one really knows what's going on. But as long as they keep thrashing it out in public, then
well, it's not harmonious, pleasant, and joyful, is it?
No,
it's more acrimonious and destructive and negative.
And funny, yeah.
And of course, the only people that are really going to make lots of money out of it and be happy are
the newspaper editors
and
the lawyers.
Hey,
did I get that one right?
I think you did.
Hooray!
No. Can I go back to real life experience? When
real
I worked
life,
in the
real
building
London.
site
Yes.
on the west of Reading in the middle 1970s, as a labourer. This van turned up one day to the building site, and the guys in the van started loading off big chunks of wood, important chunks of wood, onto the van and took them away. Did that over about 2 days, and we were told by the site agent and the site manager at the time that it was the owners of the building company pilfering from themselves to build houses elsewhere. For no cost effectively at all, because they were stealing from themselves, and then later claiming that lost materials back on the insurance policies.
Absolutely.
And that's not a lie.
No, I wouldn't say that it was. No, were they? Did they look like gentlemen who would otherwise be engaged in waste management?
Bingo.
Not at that time. No. What do you mean? The ones? No, because it was muscle men who were doing the work, but they were obviously getting instructions from the management who owned the company.
Yeah. They were all wandering around saying,
"What's the matter with you?"
Yeah, they're saying, "Hi, Jack. Whose car is this? Can we borrow it for a while? I'm sure you want us to borrow your car because there's a pistol pointing at your head."
Yeah. Well, you know,
it wasn't that bad. Actually.
As long as they keep paying the law, because going inside is, it's not in them.
Guys today have no room for the penal experience.
That was a long setup just to get the guy to say penal.
Guys today have no room for the penal experience.
But it is worrying, isn't it? I think you're on an absolutely true point. That the level of corruption that's acceptable is very, very worrying, because in the end, that cost is passed on to the end consumer.
Us.
Who happens to be Joe Public in the street, who's just struggling to get on the housing ladder at the bottom.
Yeah, chumps like you and me, yeah.
Chumps like you and me, exactly. And another one was when site managers allowed what was meant to be official practice, which was people came onto site to take away the excess materials and the old weathered materials, but in fact they came on site and they took away brand new materials. And then that was written off again as lost or stolen materials. And that cost is then again passed on to the end consumer.
Yeah, chumps like you and me.
Chumps like you and me.
Yeah.
And I did hear once at some point, although it can't be proven, and I shan't mention it, that a local council inspector came down to a building site that I was working on, looked at the depth of the lower section of a publicly adopted road, decided it wasn't up to standard, and demanded that the main contractors take up all the tarmac and relay it again to the correct level and depth. But that afternoon, a brown package with a certain contents on it landed on his desk, and he happened to waive his original objection.
Right, with Horse's Head, was it?
No, not quite, no. No, there wasn't a Frank Sinatra involved in it, singing away at the back.
Well, that was my unsaid point, was that how is it that all of these buildings look exactly the same, don't contribute to their surroundings, or the or anything associated with the council that allowed them to build the buildings? How is it that they got permission from the planning departments? Now, if you're an ordinary chump,
I can only
like
imagine
you or
that's
me...
done. I can only imagine that's done totally legitimately.
Yeah, sure it is.
And it'd only be my fantasy and my imagination to imagine that...
it's all crooked, yeah. If you're a chump like you or me and you want to go to the planning department and you want to ask them anything at all, the answer will be no. Whatever the question, they'll say...
No!
No. But if you're a gigantic company with hundreds of millions of pounds to throw around, then suddenly everyone is saying...
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprising, isn't it?
Well, I think it was interesting, wasn't it? In the early 1960s, I think the government had to decide whether it was going to go down the route of trying to transport people around by a development extension of the rail network, or by the construction of motorways. And I think at the time, the minister who had a major input into that decision-making process was in fact in charge of a major construction company that was going to benefit from the construction of motorways, surprisingly.
No, it's not surprising. Everyone is corrupt all of the time. And you know why? Because they can be. Yeah. Hey, listen, how's the job hunting going? Awful, I bet.
Oh,
You haven't done a single thing.
No, I have. I've got some application forms. And
Really?
And they're
Filled them out yet?
Not quite. I've
No.
looked at them.
Yeah.
But they're such appealing things that you think I must get down immediately and write yet again how many schools I've attended, how many O levels I do or don't have.
Right.
And this is going back sort of 30 years.
There's always an excuse. Booze. Mostly, I imagine, yeah.
I can remember years and years ago. Quite often, you could just turn up a factory gate and say, "I'd like to see the foreman, please," and you say, "Okay, we'll see you now." And you go in and you say, "I'd like a job, please." And they look at you up and down and make it, "Okay, start tomorrow."
Here we go, and when we were a lad. All right, well, the best of luck with it, all right?
Bye.
This is LBC.
This is the home.
Crystal Palace. Hello, Tony.
Hi there.
Tony.
Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Oh, good. Sorry. That's what I was actually talking about, but you guys really do sort of change the subject very quickly and all that side of it.
Well, it's just like a conversation, you know. I mean, you don't go down to the pub with your mates and say, right, we're only going to talk about one thing for the next hour, do you?
No, exactly that. I was actually thinking it's a really nice way that you've done that, actually. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be talking about now.
Tony, can you do me a favour? Can you go to where you normally get good reception on your phone? Because you're cracking up, dear.
I did.
No, go to a window or something.
How's this?
Well, let's try it. Go ahead.
How's this?
Well, it sounds good so far.
Okay, I'm getting there. Yeah?
Go on.
Okay.
That's even worse. Yeah, it is. Maybe you should call back on a landline.
Oh, true. Okay, I'll just cut off.
Have you got a landline?
Yeah, I've got several landlines, actually.
Right, well, it would be much better to talk to you on a landline. Can you call back?
Right, I will do.
Ta-da.
Okay.
Very cooperative lady. Here's Mitcham. Hello, Ruth.
Oh, good evening.
Ruth.
Yes.
How are you?
All right, thank you. Do you have any influence with your head office about programme scheduling?
Who, me? No.
Shame. Because I was devastated to hear that Ian Lee was likely to be doing New Year's Eve.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yes, some people might think so, but he doesn't appeal to everyone.
Well, why would you be in on New Year's Eve, Ruth? You want to go out, have yourself a bit of fun. Go on, go out and grab some.
No, I like to be indoors.
So do I,
and
yeah.
listen to LBC.
I like to be indoors, too. I would never leave the flat if it wasn't for running out of food.
Oh, dear me. No, I'm not that bad.
I am.
No.
Oh, seriously, I would, like, days go by, I didn't even go down to get the post, and I didn't even have to leave the building to do that.
How old are you?
46.
Well, I think you'd better get up and have a go. Because when you get to my age, there's not all that much time left, and you waste your time, don't you?
Well, I don't count it as wasting time. I just like being in. Going out is awful. It's awful outside, Ruth.
I enjoy my home.
Yeah, me too. I love it.
But, I sort of think his is a sort of a specialised type of programme. And if the format would be the same on New Year's Eve, I'm afraid I would have to switch over to someone else.
Well, you might have to just, go out. Go on, try going out on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, I'm past that.
Yeah, well, me too. Of all the nights in the year that I'd rather stay in, I think New Year's Eve is right up there. Because, for a start, everything's going to be twice as expensive as the previous day.
A lot of drunk people around.
Oh, well, it'd be like hopping over puddles of puke.
Oh, don't.
On every pavement. You know it will be.
Yeah, that's what puts me off.
Here's a tip, Ruth. Do not travel on public transport.
Oh, I wouldn't.
The day after.
No fear.
Hideous.
No, I know, I can imagine.
You need to carry your own hose.
Yeah, it was just a thought, I wondered if... I'm sorry to hear Clive's not well.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it's serious. He's just got a bit of a cold at the moment, that's all.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sorry you don't have any influence that you might be able to do something about.
I have no influence in this business at all. No one listens to me.
Okay. All right, then.
Write a letter, we'll come in.
There you go.
Thanks a lot.
Ta-da, Ruth.
Bye.
What a nice lady. Here's one in Walthamstow. Alison.
Hello, Nick.
Alison.
Hello. Now I've been called back, I'm not sure that this is so interesting.
Oh, go on, try me. If this isn't interesting, I'll pull something else out of you.
Good, yes, we can change the subject. Well, I've got an old copy. There was somebody talking about copies of papers or something, or earlier in your show.
Yeah.
So I've got one of the Penny Magazine, October 5th, 1833.
Well, you went out and bought that, did you?
No, it was a present to me, because October the 5th is my birthday, so... I think my sister got it for me.
Have you got it in front of you?
Yeah.
You know what? I want to see you, hear what's on the front page, but I'm going to have to go to a break.
Okay.
So you peruse it and get the juiciest story from it.
There's
all right.
nothing juicy.
Oh, there must be something, Alison. Must be something.
All right.
So pick out the most interesting one, and we'll come back and hear about that. All right. Okay, this is LBC. So what have you got for us, Alison?
Hello?
Alison.
Hello?
What have you got for us?
Right, well...
Now, recap. This is from when?
1833, October the 5th, 1833, and it's the Penny Magazine, published every Saturday, as it says here. Also known as Society of Useful Knowledge. So it's like a penny magazine published every week, and I think people would collect the pages as you went along. So this is like a paper that's smaller than A4, and it would be like 8 sides, 10
So
sides.
it's not a roundup of that week's news?
No, it's not that. It's just different things of interest. But it was just a short call to you anyway to let you know I had something. That was
So what did in the late 19th century? What interested people apart from murder and street robbery, that sort of thing?
What they've got in this magazine is which is Trojan's column at Rome.
What?
Trojan's column at Rome.
What's that?
It's a monument.
Right.
Right. Rochester Cathedral.
Is there anything London-centric?
No.
Nothing?
The wild turkey.
What's that?
About the animal, the wild turkey.
A wild turkey?
Wild turkey,
right.
yes.
Is there nothing that was current?
No. What to me is interesting about this is that it's it must have been something that was fairly for the middle classes, I would have thought. But it's also the way it's written is, when they talk about dumbed down today, it really is dumbed down. Do you know what I mean? Just from the way that they write about articles and things in here, like on Rochester Cathedral and things like that. But it's mainly about monuments in this section.
It sounds unutterably dull, Alison, but I guess you took your amusement wherever you could get it in those days, eh? They didn't have Sky.
Well, it's sort of interesting from a historical point of view, I suppose.
I suppose so.
Used to collect.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to put my 2 pence in.
Well, you certainly beat the other two for an historical artefact.
That's right.
Yes.
I just wish it was more juicy.
So far, you're in the lead. Thanks, Alison.
Okay.
Ta-da.
Bye.
It's your official history station for the new millennium. This is LBC. He has what you would call a Scottish burr, doesn't he, that newsman? Is he new?
He's been here a while.
Yeah, like I said, he's been here a good long while now. But it's just, I find it's pleasant on the ear, don't you? Like a lot of people say, I can't understand a word he's saying when they hear someone Scottish on the radio. Yeah, you do it. That's it's usually the drunk calls that I used to get. People in Britain, in England were going, what? But not him. He enunciates perfectly, and it's a
lesson for Louise.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Don't you find that it's, I don't know, there's something about it. It's pleasant on the ear. Am I right? Even
I think it's quite easy on the ear.
Yeah, even if he's giving bad news, you just like listening to it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just something about...
It's very soothing.
Yeah, unlike like London accent, which is all a bit graty, innit? Like you would want, if it could come in flavours, you would want ice cream in the flavour of a Scottish accent, am I right? But you would turn your nose up if it was a London accent. You wouldn't want to hear that, would ya? Birmingham, there's another one. Awful. Northern Irish. Southern Irish, yes. Northern Irish, no. It'd be straight in the bin. Am I right?
What ice cream would a London accent be, then? So the Scottish accent is tablet ice cream, which I've had up in Scotland.
Tablet?
Tablet. It's like a fudge sort of thing, I think. And it's quite nice.
Had that up in Scotland last year.
Sounds delicious. But London would be, oh, I don't know, metal or urine or something. That's not an offensive thing to say, is it? Hey, what about the motor racing, eh? Having started 10th, his chances of recording the victory he needed at the Brazilian Grand Prix were already remote for Michael Schumacher. Nevertheless, he shot off the grid like a bullet from a gun, blazing his way to the shoulder of title rival Alonso inside 9 pulsating laps.
Boring!
Could it be more boring? Motor racing. Tremendous excitement, no?
Yeah.
It's just around and around and around and around they go, and nothing ever happens. Does that sound like something that you would actually want to show up to as a spectator?
No!
No.
You don't even know what's going on if you go up as a spectator, because you just see them go past.
Correct. Yeah.
What's the point?
It's pointless. It's of all the sports in all the world, that's the one you'd least want to show up in person to. Because for a start, it sounds awful. There's only one sport that sounds worse than motor racing, and that's skateboarding, which is all rumble, 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 clack. If you want to just look in wonderment at the teenage mind in action, go to the South Bank, because they rumble around underneath the Queen Elizabeth Hall, don't they?
Mm.
Which is a hideous place to be. It's like being in a dripping, dank basement. It's always cold and damp under there, even if it's 100 degrees outside. And they stand there, and it could be freezing, it could be snow on the ground, and they'll stand there in their T-shirts because, I don't know, it's hard not to wear clothes. So they'll just show up in their T-shirts, freezing their skinny bottoms off, and all day long they'd be just back and forth going, rumble, 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 clack,
until they break their legs.
Or whatever it is that they're doing. And even if they're experts, it's still lame. It's got to be the lamest sport I've ever seen, because even if you're really good at it, you still can't do very much. You go along, and you flip your little board over, and that's it. That's just weak. Am I wrong?
I could never do it, anyway. I was always rubbish.
Yeah, well, because you need to practice. But my point is that even if you do practice, even if you spend your entire life doing just that, it's still not very good.
It's like the poor man's BMX.
Yeah, it still looks weak. I mean, at least on inline skates, which of course skateboarders would turn their noses up at least you can actually do something that looks exciting on it. You can do anything you want. You can do gymnastics and leap over things and all that sort of thing. But on a skateboard, even the best skateboarder in the world is stuck with rumble, 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 clack. It's just awful. And there's that moment when they lift off the ground for that millisecond of excitement that they do on each tiny little run. It's that moment of silence when the rumbling stops just before the clack arrives, and your brain is screaming at you to run, fleeing from the area. The only sport that is comparable in sound to that is motor racing. Awful. And that's it. You know, Formula One, am I right? Nothing ever happens. They just go around and around and around, and if something, if there isn't excitement, it's that someone's car stops going.
Can never hear the radio in those cars either. You'd never hear LBC.
Well, you make a very good point. Yeah, who would have thought of that? Let's go with Alexandra Palace. Cordelia. What a great name.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous.
That's all right. I'll talk you through it. So what did you call about, Cordelia?
Well, about...
Do you have siblings, by the way? Have you got sisters, brothers?
No, I don't.
I was just curious as to what they would call, what your parents would call...
No, I have a half-brother and half-sister called Jasper and Polly, so...
Well, see, isn't that great? Jasper, Polly and Cordelia. You're virtually a rock and roll family.
It's like an Enid Blyton book.
Isn't it just? Yeah. Do you have lashings of ginger beer to hand?
Always, yes.
Good.
Yes. What I called about was that my mother had a claim to fame, which is that when she heard about the proper, yearly transport tickets that was going to be created on London Transport. She thought it was very, very good. And so she went to Finsbury Park Station very early and got there just in time to get the 0001 ticket, which meant that they actually had to get the mayor. The mayor was supposed to get that ticket, and so
the mayor wasn't going to be travelling on the tube. He didn't need it.
No, well, they had to recreate it and into a 000 ticket eventually.
The mayor's a big fat zero. Is that what that was the underlying comment they were making?
This is back in 1972. I have it in front of me, and the 12th of June, 1972.
So you have the first ever travel card.
Yeah.
That's probably worth
it's
nothing at all.
It's called On London Transport Buses and Trains. Go as you please.
That sounds jolly, doesn't it? Go as you please. That sounds almost as though it's skipping through a field of wildflowers.
Yeah, and it was a 0001 ticket.
And how much was it? Surprises, shockers, appallers.
Do you know what? It doesn't say on. Oh, hang on.
It was probably free. Giving them away, they were.
It doesn't say on the ticket. But
sixpence, threepence, penny halfpenny, 12 and 8.
£130 a year.
What? £130?
What? A year?
That's absolutely shocking, isn't it? That would be too much now.
A yearly ticket.
You're not selling it to me, Cordelia. So what are your parents, you don't have to be specific, I'm just keen to delve more into a family that would name their children so wonderfully. What do they do? What did they do?
Well,
they don't need to work.
Well, of course they work. My mother...
Ignore him, he's being facetious. You go ahead, Cordelia.
Oh, of course my mother worked for 35 years in the revenue and...
In inland revenue?
Yeah.
Right, well that's a very down-to-earth occupation. I mean, they weren't titled in any way, were they? She wasn't just working for the fun of it. Because it's, I mean, Cordelia, that's just off-the-scale posh, isn't it?
She worked for my benefit, because she was a single parent.
Right.
So, yes, that was the...
And did you turn out well?
I certainly did. I now...
Do we have independent evidence of that? Because I don't know whether I can take your word on it.
Well...
So how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. And, you know, I have my own house, and I work for the NHS, and I'm working within the NHS, but we won't go any further within that because that's a controversial issue.
What, the NHS?
Yeah.
It certainly is, yeah. So I don't want to delve into it. I don't really want to take calls about NHS all night. But
no, best not.
How long have you been working there?
For about 4 years.
All right, well then this is an excellent question for you. Has the NHS got better or worse in the last 4 years? And I'll leave that really vague so you can put whatever spin on that, or whatever, angle on that you'd like. Better or worse in the last 4 years?
Well...
I'll take that as worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Right. Now, I don't want to shoehorn you into one answer or another.
Well,
I'll take that as worse.
No. I mean, I think, in some ways, all I can talk about is the departments I work in.
You're trying to be positive, Cordelia, but you're failing.
And the fact is that, the bureaucracy is killing it. So yeah, it's worse. Yeah.
Do you work in one particular hospital, or are you part of the bureaucratic problem? You work in head office?
No.
You work in one hospital?
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you which one.
No, don't. Here's another question.
Yeah.
Would you be happy to be treated in your hospital?
Yeah.
Is that a no?
No, that's a yes. No, honestly, that's a yes. Right. I think that, no, that we're okay.
I think she's saying no, boys.
I think I'm saying okay.
Oh, well, first of all, it was yes, and now it's okay.
No, I'm saying yes.
If I keep talking to you for another 5 minutes, you'll be running, screaming from the area.
No, really. No, it's...
Well, everyone's pleased. First of all, we're thrilled that you turned out so well. Your parents, your mum did a fantastic job. Second, we're thrilled that you were, working in the NHS, working for us.
Well,
you're not happy with that, are you?
What?
I'm trying to be nice, and you're trying to pick a negative out of it.
No, not at all. No, all anyone in the NHS does is try to work for the people.
Well, it would be nice if that was true, but I'm afraid that we're not believing that. Because they're not saints. I mean, it's not an organisation staffed by saints. They don't have wings on their backs. They're normal people like you and me. Well, you're not a normal person. Normal people like me. Nasty, kind of nasty people who just have themselves in mind. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but you float above it, like an angel. You don't mind me saying that, do you? Because it's been a godly show so far, so I'd like to, keep the momentum.
Thank you, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Cordelia.
Okay.
You keep keeping on. Will you do that for me?
Yeah.
Cheers. This is LBC.
Are you disappointed with your...
Here's something that exciting that happened in Formula One. This was something that happened on ITV. Formula One ace Kimi Raikkonen stunned TV viewers yesterday when he said he'd missed an awards ceremony because he was... Here's a phrase I can't say on the radio, so I'm going to have to talk you through it, all right? You know what you do when you have a happy morning sit-down? Now, imagine the most basic way of putting that, a way that you wouldn't normally hear on TV in the middle of the day. ITV's Martin Brundle asked the Finn if he would get over not seeing Pele presenting a gong to rival driver Michael Schumacher. Cheeky Kimi Raikkonen, 26, replied, yeah, I was having a... bad word we can't say on the radio. Happy morning sit-down. When you see it written down in the Telegraph, you do a bit of a double take. It's not that kind of paper. So they asterisked it out. Yeah, I was having a...
Can we have a clue?
4 asterisks. Happy morning sit-down. The most basic way you can say that. Red-faced Brundles joked, OK, thanks for that. Obviously you'll have a nice, light car in the race. Isn't that shocking? McLaren star Kimi's live outburst came minutes after he started in the Brazilian Grand Prix. ITV apologised.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
Croydon, hello, John.
Oh, good afternoon, comrade.
How are you doing?
I've got in front of me a copy of the Sun newspaper from Wednesday the 18th of April, 1804.
Is that possible?
I presume it's not the same publication of the Sun newspaper as the current title is concerned, but...
Different editor, I would think.
Yes, it must be something with the same title 202 years ago. And it's got lots of interesting stuff on the...
What does it look like? Give us an idea of the size of the thing.
It's about... It's broadsheet sort of size. It's a single double sheet, so it's four large pages, all on one big folded sheet.
And how did you get hold of such an old relic?
I bought it at an auction about 20 years ago for £3, and it was well worth it, because it's got lots of fascinating stuff in it. It's got book reviews, theatre reviews...
what was on at the theatre? I bet it was the same stuff that was on right now.
Lottery results. Theatre Royal, Covent Garden, tomorrow evening, 19th of April, 1804, will be performed Isabella, Byron, Mr. Kemble, Carlos, Mr. C. Kemble...
Oh, we don't have to... They're all dead now. You don't have to give us that list. But Mr. Kemble, I'll admit my ignorance, and I don't know it.
And an advert here. Whereas a person hired a horse and whiskey of Mr. Crossweller of Brighton on Friday the 6th of April, 1804, and has not since returned it. If it should be left in the hands of any innkeeper, stable keeper, or others, they will please to give information to Mr. Crossweller as above, or any person giving such information, so that the property may be recovered.
All right. They hired a horse and whiskey?
Yes, I presume that's some sort of cart, or the whiskey railback painted brown bay gelding upwards of 14 hands high.
Oh, it's like a Surrey with a... or maybe that's what the horse was called.
Could be.
Hey, there you go. We've cracked it.
And it's got reports of the House of Lords debate on the...
Oh, God, could that be more boring? So what's the front page story?
Well, the front page is mostly sort of adverts.
Yeah, adverts. The Times used to be like that, didn't it?
Yeah,
okay, well, what's their lead story?
Well, there's an interesting story on the back page.
Now, when you say interesting...
juicy crime stuff.
Go on, then.
Old Bailey, Tuesday the 17th of April. B. Scully was charged in 2 indictments, the first for a burglary, the second for receiving a variety of silver articles of plate and watches, knowing them to have been burglariously stolen.
That's one of the best words I've ever heard. Burglariously.
The prisoner was found in possession of the articles the morning after the burglary, and therefore was indicted both for the burglary and for receiving. He pleaded guilty to receiving stolen goods.
Goods that were burglariously attained, yeah. That's fantastic.
The recorder then told him that doubtless his counsel had advised him right, for if he had been convicted of the burglary, he should have thought him an object fit for capital punishment. And he
wow, they were a bit strict in those days, weren't they? These days, they just let you go straight away.
So he was sentenced to 14 years transportation.
Give you an iPod and ask you politely not to do it again.
And then it says, sentence of death was then passed on the following persons, and it's got a list of names.
Oh.
And finally, Thomas Damon, for embezzling 7 shillings, the property of Thomas Tuck, is to be publicly whipped from the Angel Inn to the church at Edmonton.
What, all the way there?
And imprisoned in the House of Corrections for 6 months.
Wow.
Yes. Sales by auction.
So if they weren't going to kill him, they were going to flog him, which is just the sort of language they understand. Am I right?
I presume so.
Yeah.
Mrs. Alicia McCartney died at the age of 88.
Oh, poor dear. I didn't know she was ill.
Well, nor me.
She's still dead, by the way.
I think it's normally
Trust me.
practice that once one is dead, one tends to stay
normally,
dead.
yeah. But you never can tell these days what with witches and goblins and prayer and all.
You never knew what they got up to in the
No, exactly, yeah. It was almost a different century, wasn't it? Anyway, thanks for the bad news, John.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah, or something. Let's have one on the M4. Hello, Leo.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
I'm all right.
M4's a bit quiet.
Is it?
For a change.
I'll pass it on to our traffic news.
Oh, great.
So you're hands-free, presumably. Not that I really care one way or the other. But
cheers. Cheers, mate. Yeah, no, I'm hands-free. Yeah, I'm going nice and slow.
Now, let me ask you a question about this, because I don't get it. Okay, hands-free. Now, you're still having a conversation with me, so your mind is not on your driving any more than it would be if you were holding a phone to your ear. Now, you're in a car, and you don't have 2 hands gripped on the wheel all the time. When I'm driving along, I'll often, especially if you're just driving down a featureless road, you'll be holding it with one hand, right? Because you just get tired with your arms up. So, in other words, most of the time, you've only got one hand on the wheel. And if you're changing gear, you've only got one hand on the wheel. Or you're fiddling around with the radio, or you're getting yourself a little snack there, or scratching yourself, or whatever it is it might be. So it's not that you're holding the phone, it's that you're having a conversation. You're not thinking 100% about the road ahead. So it's not the hands-free, it's having the conversation that is causing people to swerve off the road and drive into bus queues, which also means that you can't talk to anybody that's sitting in the car with you. It's not just the phone, it's anything other than keeping your eyes peeled on the road ahead. Which means that we should all be fined all the time. Am I right?
Have you thought about that quite a lot then?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really hands-free. I'm holding the hands-free unit in front of my mouth.
Oh, that's great, yeah. That's a major contribution to road safety. Well done.
Yeah. So, probably still breaking the law technically.
No, not technically. Definitely.
Really?
Anyway, we better move on because you've only got moments to live.
Yeah, sorry.
So, anyway, go on.
I was ringing in about Scientology, actually.
Yes.
No one's mentioned it yet. And I think it's sort of the most balmiest cult thing I've ever heard about.
Of course, they wouldn't say cult, they'd say religion, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, Scientology was only actually made a religion when they realised the tax break you could get from a business. So it was originally a cult, founded by this guy, Ron Hubbard, who's a science fiction writer. And when they realised, because this is a business that you have to pay money to join to be a member of, and when they realised the tax benefits they could get from changing this business into a religion, you know, they did it, and they've reaped the benefits from it, really.
Well, you could say that about any... I mean, I'm not going to defend Scientology, because I've seen South Park. But you could say that about any religion. They're all, you know, they're all getting tax breaks. And if you believe in one, then there's going to be somebody who says, no, that's not right, because I know that God loves me more, or something like that. It's all a bit fantastically... well, what's the word that I'll use that won't offend anybody at all? Curious. How about that one? Yeah, it's curious. Yeah.
It's the newest religion in the world, I believe. And I really dislike the fact that they target famous people in order to make it look good.
Well, I don't think they target them. I think famous people seem to be drawn to it. I mean, you know, Tom Cruise ain't no fool, and he wasn't picked up on the street. He wasn't walking down Tottenham Court Road and they asked him to go in for a personality test.
Have they asked you to go in yet?
Yeah, oh, I did that, yeah. I'll tell you about that. I'll tell you about that as we come out of the news, all right. Hands on the wheel and eyes on the road, all right.
Righto.
Cheers, Velo. This is LBC. There was a fairly simple system to the seating plan at the annual big money get-together of the Church of Scientology in Sussex this weekend. The more you pay, the nearer to Tom Cruise you get. To those willing to part with £500 or £600, the star of the Mission Impossible Daft-O-Ramas, it says in the Telegraph, were a mere speck in the distance at the far end of the gigantic gold-draped, candle-lit marquee. The Hollywood superstar was separated from the merely very wealthy by an enclosure reserved for the global elite of one of the more curious organisations on the planet, not to mention off it. This isn't impartial reporting, is it? For those wanting to sit within whiffing distance of Mr. Cruise's aftershave, the price was a little higher, at £1,000 a seat. The high-security gathering at the Scientologists' headquarters at St Hill Manor in East Grinstead presaged the opening yesterday of the church's, in inverted commas, enormous new centre in the City of London, a £25 million tribute to its founder, L. Ron Hubbard. Does anybody know where this is? I saw the thing on the news, and it's a fantastic-looking building. They've got no end of money, these people. But it's right in the middle somewhere. It's Queen Victoria Street. Where is that exactly? He's looking it up. It continues. A prolific and rather balmy science fiction writer, L. Ron Hubbard, it was he who one day decided that it might be fun and lucrative, like that bloke on the M4 was saying, to set up his own religion, and so he did, stocking it with tales of an evil galactic overlord called Xenu, interstellar travel, nuclear holocaust, and disembodied soul beings called Thetans. Mr. Cruise, the world's most famous exponent of this colourful belief system, did not attend the rain-soaked ceremony in the Square Mile, but it was no less bizarre for his absence, involving surreal, admiring speeches from a senior officer in the City of London Police. Really? And a senior member of the Corporation of London. Huh. Some 3,000 Scientologists gathered for the opening, which was picketed by a small number of people who claim to have been harmed by their involvement with what some regard as a dangerous cult. The opening ceremony in the city yesterday started with a Highland pipe band. In driving rain, Kevin Hurley, the fourth most senior officer in the City London force, welcomed Scientology to its new home in Queen Victoria Street, claiming it had raised the spiritual wealth of society. Well, this is the police saying this. Isn't that a bit weird? Alderman Ian Luder, representing the Lord Mayor, said, history is being made before our very eyes. Huh. Where is Queen Victoria Street? Where is it?
By Blackfriars.
Right in the middle of, right by the river. It's almost probably got a river view, has it? No, not quite. Newbridge Road, just north of Blackfriars Bridge. Just at the end of the embankment. A lovely place. 25 million quid. They're not short of a penny, are they? Do you believe in any of that, Tallulah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is that a no?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay.
Hello, you.
Hello, you.
I want to do a public service.
Public service, go on.
I want to tell everybody, because it's early days now, and I want to warn them, don't travel home outside this wonderful country to go to your mates for Christmas, because you might be in trouble and end up on an empty airport. Yeah. I get off.
What?
Well, I just wanted to tell people they should not take the last minute to travel home for Christmas, because it's only one day.
Right. Yeah, but that day means a lot, though. I mean, it's, members of your family you might not, well, let's face it, you might not like. But you're forced to show up on Christmas Day because it's the anniversary of, Jesus and all that, Santa Claus and presents and, all that jazz, to actually go and commune with the people that you don't ordinarily like, because it's Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah,
worst day of the year it can be.
It is. But then you have to take the really painful way to travel 5 days at least in advance to make sure when the first flight is cancelled, then the second or third one may happen.
It's funny, I mean, we look forward with, great affection and a warm glow to that time of year, but when it actually happens, it can be an absolute blooming nightmare.
Exactly, and that's why I'm going to wear a T-shirt this time, because every single year I get asked the same questions. Are you going home to your fatherland, to Lederhosenland? And I will wear a T-shirt, and that T-shirt will say, staying home for Christmas.
Right. Well, I think you probably, you put that on the net, sell them at £25 each, and by this time next year, you'll be a millionaire.
Thanks, mate, for this idea. Could be good, though, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Staying home for Christmas. Yeah, good idea. Bolt the doors and draw the curtains. Get in the booze and turn on the TV.
I've done that the last many, many, many years.
Well, I do that ordinarily. That's just me ordinarily. I never want to leave the flat. How about you?
Oh, absolutely not. I refuse to go out. I mean, Christmas, obviously, but even New Year, I do not dare.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I were a young lad, then you had to go out on New Year's Eve, otherwise you felt like the world's biggest loser. Am I right? But now, it's like, I can't be bothered, because for a start, if you're drinking, then you can't drive. And it's the worst night of the year not to drive, because you're reliant on, either getting a cab. Have you ever got a cab on New Year's Eve? I mean, you think cabs are a rip-off, no offence to cab drivers, but they're a rip-off now. On New Year's Eve, it's just, forget about it. And so public transport, who wants to get on a bus on New Year's Eve? It's just horrific. It's just awful.
I liked your earlier description about you have to jump over the puddles.
Yeah, well, New Year's Day in London is, it's like hopscotch with puddles of puke all over the place. Awful.
Can you ask me what I've done 30 minutes ago?
Hey, Tallulah?
Yeah?
What did you do 30 minutes ago?
I had a sunbed session with my budgie.
You had a sunbed session with your budgie?
What?
Is that legal?
I don't care. That's the good thing about having a budgie, because they can't interfere. I go under the sunbed and he just joins me until he had enough, and then he goes to a cooler place.
All right, you don't like sellotape him to the bed. He actually comes and goes of his own volition.
He can, absolutely.
Right. Okay, well then I'm not calling the RSPCA, not just yet anyway.
You better don't, dindy-doody.
Dindy. I suppose that it wouldn't affect a budgie, really, because, they won't get a tan through their feathers, will they?
It's, the sunbed is not only a tan thing, it's, I call it recharging the batteries. Because this sort of light gives you a buzz. And the budgie must think the same.
Gives you a buzz?
Groovy.
Huh.
It gives you a buzz of energy.
Yowza.
Really?
And a good tang.
Huh. Well, you being a rock chick, then, you get the buzz any way you can, right?
Well, I do have to do that. That's all right, man. Rock and roll.
You really shouldn't go on a sunbed.
I have one at home, so I've been going under there once a week.
Now, do you either you have a gigantic home, or this thing dominates your living room? Which is it?
No, it's an older version. It's a double deck, and it is not as huge as the ones that you can see in the moment that are top fashion.
Yeah, but it's still as big as your body, right?
It is, definitely.
Yeah, so it's like a bed. It's like an actual... It's the size of a single bed, right? Is it in your living room? Please say it's not in your living room.
Nick, I don't have any normal areas. I'm not normal, and my house is anything but normal.
Well, I'm glad that you said that. Yeah, you don't have any normal areas. What, none?
No, but I tell you one thing, my home has got atmosphere, and that's why I call it paradise.
It's unique, yeah. Just like you are. You're special, Tallulah. Everyone says so.
Thank you very much.
All right. And you're brown, to boot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I go out for the night, so I have to get ready for my town. And my batteries.
And you're going out tonight?
No, for the budgie thing. It's, just the budgie that's going to see budgie. You remember that one?
Right, she's not talking about her actual budgie. She's talking about the band called Budgie. Used to be big in the 70s. Well, actually, that's a lie. They used to be in the 70s, and now, due to, no public demand at all, they've come back. Isn't that great?
Have a big tour.
And, yeah, right. And they're, now, if Dr. Feelgood came back, if Lee Brillo burst back into life, then I'd go and see that. But Budgie,
I only want to show them my budgie, that's all. I've seen them before, so...
Can anybody remember any of Budgie's greatest hits?
No.
No, not one single one. But I'm sure it's going to be great. Where are they playing?
The Underworld.
In Camden?
Mm.
Right. Of course, unfortunately, the thing about the Underworld in Camden is that, you have to go to Camden.
Yeah, but you go out of the tube, turn...
Left.
Cross the road, and that's it.
And there it is, yeah.
Cool, absolutely cool. And me, I just have 1 minute to go to the tube myself, so couldn't be better.
Well, it could be, but, No,
it couldn't.
Well, yeah, you're right. It couldn't be better.
Oh, well, let's debate it then.
It's like heaven on earth.
Okay.
Well, I want you to enjoy it without compliments. All right, Tallulah.
Go on, rock and roll, yes.
Call me back and tell me how it went. All right.
I will.
Ta-da. And don't take your bird.
He comes with me to the sound check.
The sound check. All right. Well, yeah. Ask him how he felt, and take his word for it. If he says if he doesn't want to go to the gig, I wouldn't want to go to the gig.
No, he won't.
All right. Okay. As you wish.
Okay then.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
There she is, torturing poor defenceless animals, nuking them, and then taking them to a rock concert. It's just another tale of life over at Tallulah's place. You know what? This has seemed much more calm than when I was on Friday. I think I made a mistake on Friday. I came out of the traps like it was a sprint. 4-hour show is quite can quite take it out of you. And on Friday, I was going like 10 to the dozen, whatever that means.
An hour, isn't it? It makes a real difference.
Yeah, because the thing was, in the first 2 hours, I was speeding my bosoms off. It felt like I don't know. Lucy makes tea like she puts crack in it or something. But I was off my face virtually on Friday for the first 2 hours. After which, I totally exhausted myself. And I felt like I was dragging my face through particularly the last hour. But see, I've been much more measured in this show,
Well
like a marathon runner.
So you enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, you got to take it at a measured pace. If if it's an 800 metres, then you don't sprint the first 200 metres because you won't have the energy to finish the race. You see.
Make a note, Louise.
So you got to Louise
Barnsworth.
Oh right. You see. Like I said, I don't listen to me. I've got no idea what goes on this show. All right, we're going to go away, come back.
When London's just getting...
You've arrived not a moment too soon.
When do we start?
Tonight.
Good. I'd like to get in, get on with it, get it over with and get out. Get in?
Got it.
Good.
Danny Kaye. Genius. Who likes Jim Davidson? Hands up in there, who likes Jim Davidson?
Take him or leave him, really?
Well, that's overwhelming.
I once...
I just said hands up. I didn't ask for your comments.
Okay, I bumped into him once, and I thought he was going to do us some...
Still he's commenting. Hands up, who likes Jim Davidson? That's no one, then.
Yeah.
You bumped into him once, go on.
It was...
You're very close to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Put your earphones on.
Yeah, I could... we had an outing once to Brighton.
Oh, really? Who came out? let me guess.
Sounds like a week round here.
Yeah, it is really. And they told us there was a special guest going to do the dinner, and you're like going to do a little show.
Oh yeah.
And I walked straight into the hotel, and he was the first person I saw. But luckily, it wasn't him. It was.
No!
You were thinking.
It was Jeremy Beadle.
Right.
So there you go.
Everyone was thrilled,
relieved.
Yeah, relieved. Right. What kind of a show would Jeremy Beadle do? Like an act?
It was
like a stand-up?
And someone from management was doing the show with him as well. It was a bit bizarre. And I think they were
I'm
just...
glad you said that.
They were just embarrassing people, and...
This must have been a previous management, right?
Yes,
yeah.
a previous not current management, obviously.
See, you didn't make that point.
No.
If I hadn't stepped in there, you wouldn't be coming back tomorrow.
Oh, well.
Comic Jim Davidson caused fury at a hotel after a bar worker claimed he refused to be served by her because she is Welsh.
What?
Laura Davies, 19, says she heard him walk away muttering, "I'm not being served by the bloody Welsh," at a Telford Golf and Country Club. She said, "It was racial abuse. I know my accent's... I know my accent's funny, but no one has the right to speak like that. I was very offended," she said. Jim, 52, appearing in the town, said, "It wasn't because she was Welsh, it's because I thought she was stupid." Oh, Jim. He is a treasure, isn't he?
No!
There's one in Croydon. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
All right.
Yeah, good. You go to the gym, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't go to the gym now, but I used to go to the gym. And there was a particular gym in Collier's Wood that I thought I'd check out, looking for a gym. And so I signed up and everything. Then I went back the next day to train. So I walk into the changing rooms, get undressed, got into my kit, had a workout, came back, and all of a sudden I started seeing women walking around the changing rooms.
Women?
Yeah, women. So I thought, this must be, where's the women's changing rooms? There's the men's changing rooms. That's what I thought to myself, so... Anyway...
You thought, aye, something's up here, yes.
Yeah, I thought, this is a bit odd, women in the changing rooms. So I got dressed and went in the shower. And these shower cubicles went round in like a bend. And you got the showers just one after the other. So I was showering and everything. And all of a sudden a woman came to the shower.
Right, you weren't in Germany by any chance, were you?
No,
because
no,
it's
no.
all unisex over there, yeah.
No, well, I found out afterwards it was unisex changing rooms.
Well, that's bizarre, because we don't do unisex in this country because we're too embarrassed.
Yeah, no.
What kind of a gym has a unisex changing room? Doesn't exist, I don't believe you. Collier's Wood?
Yeah,
A hotbed of swinging it is, yeah.
So, so I went, I spoke to the owner. He said, oh yeah, it is unisex changing rooms. I said, don't the women get embarrassed? Or the men get embarrassed? He said, well, no. We just keep it like that because it's, people know how to behave and blah, 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 and that's it. So,
Collier's Wood, you say? Notorious, yeah, well...
Collier's Wood.
All right, well, I'll have to check it out. Thanks, Andy.
Hello, mate.
Ta-da.
Bye-bye.
I'm not sure, there's just something about that I don't believe. A unisex changing room, not in this country. In Holland, perhaps, yes. Luxembourg, well known for it. But not over here, no, I don't believe any such thing exists. Because we're ashamed. We've been brought up to be ashamed since Victorian times. Why do you think we have dressing gowns? It's so that our gaze would not fall on our own naked shame. That's why. Here's one in Worthing. Hello, Charles.
That's me.
Charles.
Good evening, Nick.
How are you?
Very salubrious on this auspicious occasion.
Salubrious? Booze? Is that what you mean?
I heard somebody else say that. I don't know what it means. Anyway, I've met Jim Davison.
How was he?
He's a nice chap, actually. A friend of mine used to have a pub at Hampton Wick, that's round by the studios, not far from the studios, and he came in there one Sunday dinner time. I used to play the organ in there. And he's quite pleasant enough to talk to.
You used to play the organ?
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something, that is a Wurlitzer. And do you know how the Wurlitzer gets its sound?
No.
It's out of tune.
What?
It's out of, it's out of tune. You've got two notes playing the same note, but one's off tune, like a piano's out of tune.
Huh.
That's how it gets its sound.
Right, do you know this one?
No, not that.
Not that one, no. Just checking. All right, well, thanks for the good news, Charles. That's
I'm not plugged in because I'm going to give you a tune.
Oh no, well, unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Right, you won't miss it tomorrow night. I'll ring earlier.
Yeah, all right. Ring me tomorrow when I'm not here. Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Oh look, pass our condolences on what's his name, Clive, will you?
Well, he's not dead.
No. Well, if you do that, it might load him up.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Him, Anne, and Charles of Worthing.
All right, I'll tell him that, Charles. Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Okay, mate. Bye-bye.
He's sounding well, wasn't he? There's Southgate. Hello, Jane.
Hello.
Jane.
Yes.
What's up, Jane?
Well, I asked about a pub called the Cheshire Cheese off of Fleet Street.
You asked who about?
Well, I asked your young man that answered the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he would inquire, but I can't find anyone that knows about it. In the old days, during the war, you know how ancient I must be, the press people used to go there, and I worked for a charming man during the war at the Air Ministry who had been a theatre critic, but he used to go there so often that they named a seat there after him, and anyone who's been there, I'd like to know whether this is still there. Query.
Jane, this is a radio show. This is not a general information
No,
service.
no, but there are a lot of people that work at LBC that have been in the press, surely, at some time or other, been correspondents. I remember Nick Ferrari bringing up his kids.
There you go. Well, you should call Nick up tomorrow morning.
Maybe he would know.
He would know much more than I would, that's for sure.
Is he so much older than you?
I don't know. How old is he?
Don't know. I'm so ancient I've lost count. I think he's about 48, 50, is he? Something like that.
Not much older then. Go on, give him a ring tomorrow and ask him how old he is. Will you do that for me?
I'll do that
All right.
if I can get through. Yes, I will.
If you live that long. Cheers, Jane.
Thank you, bye.
Ta-da. What a nice lady. This is LBC.
I've got 5! 3.